Welcome to Late Night at the Movies, episode 20, Inglorious Basterds.
You said a bad word.
All right. There you have it. Welcome back, everybody, to Late Night at the Movies on the Late Night Chat Network. I'm your host, Niko, and joined with me today, as always, is my co-host, JT, over there.
Somewhere. What's up?
As he's looking off screen for some reason. And Mr. Arvficionado.
Cheers.
What's up, brother?
Sure.
Arrivederci.
Yeah.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
I speak the most
Love that
Italian.
I don't speak any Italian. Exactly. Third best.
Yeah, exactly. Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Do it already. But yeah, no, of course, it's Arv, our fellow friend and podcaster from Brews with the Crew podcast. Just recently, I think actually you guys are up around the 60 episode range now, I believe, right? You guys around there, right?
Yeah, we're at holy shit, I can't even remember. Because it's Naz.
Yeah.
It's me, Naz, and Josh, the three of us, and Naz does all the editing, the marketing, all that stuff, and he puts it out. So
Right.
I don't even look at the numbers anymore. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll tell you. We're in
I think you're
I know the feeling, bro.
The newest
We're in
episode I saw you guys just put out is actually good to mention for this reason, is actually one where you guys actually discuss all the movies you're looking forward to and checking out in 2022, right? So that's I saw the list today. I was looking it over. It's a pretty extensive list of films that you guys go over that you're looking forward to this year. So if you guys want to hear more opinions about movies from Arv and Naz and Josh over at Brews with the Crew podcast, make sure to check that out because these guys have a lot of opinions on film and TV and stuff too. I've heard these guys go on before on the show. You guys are very opinionated individuals that actually go to the theaters when they are open. Right?
always, man. We love movies.
Fucking
All of us.
COVID spreaders.
Never got COVID once, man.
Yeah. What's going on, Sal? Oh, Sal always tunes in for the important episodes, of course. There you go. Sal Provolone up in the house.
Yes.
We got them up nice and late in the evening.
Yeah. Julie, what's going
What's
on?
up, Julie?
Actually, you know what? With the white backdrop, when this comes up actually on the screen, it kind of blends in. So I'm going to change that right now. I don't like how that goes. There we go.
All right, titties are fine. No problem.
Mr. Provolone in the house. That's better. There we go.
There you go.
Over 73 episodes. Well, there you go.
That's correct. Yes.
There you go. Sorry, I thought you guys were around 60 episodes because I saw some. I guess you guys were re-uploading maybe some older episodes then maybe at some point.
Oh, we were just playing catch up. That's all.
Okay, so that's what it is. Okay,
because there's like a bit of a gap during the winter break, and then we just uploaded to catch up to that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so there you go.
We thought you flew off the market or whatever, man. We thought you just disappeared, man. It went off in hiatus.
Everyone needs a break, especially us with the 50 episodes that we're putting out this week, guys. It's a lot of stuff coming out this week. It's a little too much. I think JT's gonna fucking collapse by the end of this week of shows that we got planned here.
It should be different.
Or didn't let me use the internet a few hours before lights out. There you go.
There you go, bro.
Oh, look at that. I actually saw this movie back in August 2009 when it came out in theaters. First Tarantino I ever saw in cinemas. Well, there you go.
Wow.
Cool. That's awesome.
I wouldn't be paying for this movie.
So, as we normally do on this episode. But yes, as I was saying, Arv, welcome. Thank you for coming and doing the show again with us. You guys check him out on Brews with the Crew podcast. He also has a YouTube channel, Arvficionado, which he was doing movie reviews on as well. Make sure to check that out. If you guys, I'll put it in the description of the episode once it gets posted for you guys. If you guys want to go check that out. and subscribe.
Thanks,
Make
sir.
sure to support Arv. Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you for always coming to
Joining
the
us.
show. Yeah, joining us in the chat. We really always have a lot of fun with you on this show. And
It's always fun, man. It's always fun.
Man.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, looking forward to the discussion here.
I just want to just shout out Brews with the Crew quick. I brought with me, we review beers as a segment on our show, so I brought with me one of our favorite beers all of us have tried, the three of us. It's from a brewery called Collective Arts, and their fucking can. It's it's right there. So their can, the design of their can changes every time. Like, it's always different. They get local artists to do the designs. And this specific beer is called Jam Up the Mash. I'll just put it up on sideways, but you can see it there. Jam Up the Mash. And it's a sour. It's terrific. We all love it. We always have at least 2 in our fridge all the time. And I just had to, yes, thank you. It is.
Yeah, Julie's a fan. There you go. Collective Arts Fire. Nice.
All of their beers are perfect. So just want to shout out.
So millennial beer, right?
The craft, it's craft beer. Craft beer.
Yeah.
It is a it's a craft beer, dry hop sour. Specifically.
Okay. I'll have to try it out. I admittedly have never tried that one. So cheers, Arv.
Cheers.
Yeah, man.
Cheers.
Got a little bit of whiskey. All right. I don't drink their stuff, but the artwork on their cans is truly top notch. So there you go. There's
absolutely, man.
Dal's vouching for them. You got a made man vouching for them now. Very creative. Yeah, well, I would hope so.
You should see the other cans.
Yeah, there's cool looking cans. So
every can is different, man. It's awesome.
But they're all for like different drinks as well. The cans that they come out with, like whenever they release a new
even like Jam Up the Mash, they have different artwork for. Like, you specifically have to look for the words Jam Up the Mash to know that you're getting it, because the artwork's different on every can.
Okay, that's cool. All right, very cool.
So I could get another one from LCBO tomorrow, and it's a brand new design. I wouldn't even know.
That's awesome. Yeah. Really, that is really cool. Julie's asking, "What are you smoking today, Jay?" You right there?
Huh?
That says it all.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. What are you smoking there? Smoking that strawberry alarm clock, as you were talking about in the last episode?
No, man. That's a fucking band. It's a band.
I know it's a band. We're just making fun of you.
Oh, my God. No,
guys watch the shows. They actually watch the shows, Jay. I think that's a reference to what you said last episode.
It's their wedding. It's a wedding cake one, man. That vape. That's fucking pretty nice, man.
Wedding cake. Okay.
Yeah, man. It's been keeping
is that
me.
Like shisha there, Arv? Is that what is that?
No, it's a vape as well. It's a
vape as well. Okay,
baby,
I thought it was an actual. I thought you actually had like the handle there for a second. I was
no, yeah, because you could only see the bottom. Yeah, no, it's a device. Yeah.
Okay, cool. There you go. I know Farhan's a big fan of the shisha. This guy, that's all he talks about.
This guy smokes like 5 a day.
On here, bring back the drunk episode. All right, calm down, man. This isn't the drunk show, okay? This isn't the drunk cat. Yeah,
I think somebody has something to say when they're drunk now. I don't know.
Smoking that nuts.
Frustrations.
There you go. Dared you. All right, so let's get into it without further ado, though. Usually the way we start these shows, if you watched this show before, is we mention kind of our history, maybe if any, with the film, why maybe we kind of picked this one. Of course, as with all guests, we kind of go back and forth with them to kind of figure out maybe a pick along with them. He kind of sent us a list. We sent it back as a short list of a few, and he kind of picked one out of that. He had mentioned that this was his favorite Tarantino film, and he picked this, and I was really happy that he picked this because I'm a big Tarantino fan. I've talked about that on the channel here before. If it was up to me, we probably would have already did all of his movies, honestly, but I'm trying to spread them out. So I was glad that you picked this, Arv. And now I don't know if you want to discuss this now or if you plan to discuss this later, but it may be a good place to start. You had actually teased that at first you didn't actually like this movie. So I felt maybe if you were going to talk about maybe your first experience with it, and I was trying to figure out why that was, and you're like, and you didn't really get into it at the time. You said, maybe I'll save it for the show, but I don't know if you want to mention that now or you want to get into that later, because there was a reason that you said, and then you said you watched it again and it turned out to be your favorite Tarantino film. So it's interesting kind of that you kind of flip-flopped on it like that, and now it's your favorite. It's interesting. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this.
Yeah, man. Oh my god! So I watched it back in theaters. Like Sal said, like it's the only Tarantino movie I actually watched in theaters to this day. Just the only one. And
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I remember you asked me when I told you I hated it the first time I saw it. You asked me if it was because they changed the history
The
of
revisionist history,
uh,
yes.
the revisionist history. Yeah,
Which is a common reason why people don't like this movie is when Tarantino kind of goes in there. And we'll get into it as we discuss it. Like there is some actual facts on things, like people references made in this to things, but then he changes everything. Like there's like like the I don't know how you say his name's Goebbels or whatever, the guy that like
Goebbels.
worked for him. Yeah, sorry, yeah. He was actually a propagandist for the Nazis, but then in this he made him the director of the films, right? Which I'm sure like that kind of that works with who he was in history, but at the same time, it's just like it's those little things that you know what I mean, like that he kind of went in there and changed, right? Like things like that, right? Like but anyways, go on, yeah.
No, he definitely liberties. Even Hitler, the fall of Hitler in the cinema. This guy gets his face shredded by by a I forget the guy's name, the bastard's name, but it's commonly known he died during the fall of the Third Reich, right? Like in his bunker, and they didn't even find his body apparently, some shit like that. But
suicide. Yeah, he killed himself, right? Like that's really how.
That's the common.
My buddy Peter, that's why he hates this movie, is that he fucking shredded him up with the gun there at the end, and we were actually talking about it today. This movie, he's like such bullshit because he likes, he's up on his war facts, right? So he was kind of like that's such bullshit, right? And I'm just yeah, but you gotta have fun with it. Fucking doing this ridiculous, you know what I mean? Take on it, right? But anyways. Is that why? Is that why you didn't like it?
No, it's not why at all. I actually appreciated that they had fun with it because it was like, man, the first time I watched it, bro, the reason I hated it so much is because I saw that. So I went with a good friends and they told me we're gonna go watch Inglorious Basterds, and I had just watched like in the few years prior, I'd seen the Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. I'd seen Grindhouse, I'd seen Pulp Fiction, I'd seen Jackie Brown, I'd seen all the Tarantino movies, and I was like, I like this guy's stuff. And then I saw the trailer. When they told me we're gonna go watch this movie, I saw the trailer, and the trailer was marketed as an action movie. And I was like, oh man, this is another one of those Kill Bills, but in World War II era.
Right.
Like something like that. I was trying to get the mindset of like what, and it was so boring. I remember how JT, like while we were backstage just now, JT was saying he had to read 90% of the movie because it's all in subtitles. I couldn't stand it, man. I had this idea of this movie in my head, and it delivered something entirely different.
Right?
And I remember I left the theater, and we were all bored. We're like, what the fuck was that? That wasn't, what kind of movie was that? It was just a bunch of people talking in a room. And then it took me like something like 6-7 years before I watched it again. And then I started to, with the expectation of what it was, I watched it with a different lens. And then I'm like, holy fuck, this movie's brilliant. Like the action is right there on screen. Just it's very subtle. It's very subdued. It's it's not in your face. It's just guns blazing. I think my expectation had changed from the first time I saw it. So I paid attention, which I think I wasn't in the mindset to do the first time I watched it. So that's why I stayed away from this movie. It was actually my worst Tarantino movie, my least favorite of his.
Right.
And now it's my favorite. So things change, man.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I think that's something. I mean, I can speak to that only from even from a recent film that he did, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where a lot of people that I know that are Tarantino fans really dislike the film because it kind of seemed pointless. But I've actually, upon rewatches of it, have a new appreciation for that movie as well. But again, if you go in with the expectations, at least that I had done at that time, thinking that this is Tarantino's take on the Manson murders, then you're going to be sorely disappointed in that movie because it really just kind of touched on it. And again, he kind of made up his own like little version of what actually occurred, right? Even though there was actual like people and places and stuff like that were all actually accurate in that film. So I think that that's something that happens often with him. I think that now he kind of set the bar with the expectations as a known director of what kind of like Tarantino kind of brings to the table. And then I think, going in for this film, like you said, there's subtitles. Admittingly, the other kind of storyline, with the girl Shoshana running away and all that kind of stuff, it's not as interesting to me as the bastard scenes. Like, really, realistically, they're not. So, like, I understand maybe you going in there and having that kind of experience with it the first time around, right? But then if you actually approach it, like you said, and break it down and watch it as like, because he writes screenplays, like the way it's presented with the acts and how everything comes all like together at the end of the film, like in like a masterful way that he's kind of known for doing. Really, the only other time I think he's done it this well is like Pulp Fiction. Like, really, like, because this one wasn't like all over the place in time really necessarily, but the way that he brought all of the situations together at the end there for that kind of final showdown with Hitler and everything else, I thought it was pretty awesome, honestly. Like, so yeah, that's interesting though that you didn't have a good experience watching it in the theater. It's a shame because I think that would have been a good movie to watch in the theater. I went to see The Hateful Eight in theaters, which isn't one of my favorite films of his, to be honest. It's kind of lower on the list for me, that one. But there was somebody who got up like halfway through the movie, and I'm just like, "What are you doing?" Like, I was just like, "I'm like, you don't know what's gonna happen." And then when they left,
they had a big twist.
Yeah, the whole movie was like flipped right on its ass. Like, you're just like, "What the hell is going on?" And like me and my girlfriend were like, "What the fuck is wrong with these people?" Like, they literally just sat there for like half the film. And they're like, I guess they're like, "Oh, this is too much for me. I'm getting the hell out of here." And then the whole film had a whole second act where you didn't even really see coming, right? So I mean, as much as like it's not my favorite film of his, it was still interesting, to see that, right? Like, and so I get that, man. That's interesting. Yeah. So now you found a new appreciation for the movie this time around. Now it's your favorite Tarantino.
Oh, absolutely. I wish I had gone back to the theater. I wish I had gone back in time knowing what I know now and all the sort of the breakdown of it I've done, just watching each scene under a microscope and like I went to school for this stuff. I was trained to look for this stuff, and it just I don't know, for me the marketing really betrayed me there. So because I love action movies too, and I watch that shit all the time. So I just placed this movie in that category, so I was prepared for that. But now knowing what kind of movie it is and what I should pay attention to, and the genius of the camera work, the script, everything. I wish the marketing had reflected that. Right. But I know that they want to get people in seats, they want to get money, so they'll market a movie a certain way. That's advertising, right? So
the world, buddy.
Yeah.
True.
Don't get me started.
That's the funny thing, like you just said, and I'm sure me and Jay are both looking forward to your takes on that again with a lot of the the cinematography that you kind of have an eye for, that you talked about even in the last film that we did with Zodiac, and this one being much more like, what I mean? Like, he sets the scenes like quite well in these acts, right? And like, again, this, I can't help myself talking about other Tarantino things, like The Hateful Eight. That being said, I think it's probably one of his nicest shot films. Like the intro alone to that movie, I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah, you've seen it. Okay. But it's fucking amazing. But again, it's just the story itself in that one just didn't really work as well for me, I felt. It felt like we had seen a lot of the kind of the tricks, even going to like the opening scene in this with the people under the floor. There was a sequence in that where the same thing. There was a guy underneath the floorboards in the Hateful Eight, which I was like, you've kind of already did this trick, man. Like, I mean, yes, it's a little different, but we've seen it kind of, so yeah, I don't know, but so let's see some comments here though. Okay, nice. You saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's another one I need to watch again.
Yeah, you know what? I really liked it the more and more I've seen it, because then you kind of get over the fact you're like, you know what? This is really just him talking about this period of time in Hollywood as he remembers it, and it's kind of a love letter to that, and it's about spending time with the characters. It really, that's all it is. Yeah. It's not it's lack there of a story, possibly. There's not really a big plot to it, right? So I understand you not liking. I saw the Roadshow version. Oh, I heard about that. Yes.
Oh, yes.
That was the one where he actually has it something millimeter or whatever, right? Like, that's I forgot how the hell like Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about, the roadshow version. Like it's like actually like on a reel or something like that.
Yeah, you got the projector. Yeah,
because he has
was that.
Yeah.
Oh, he has his own.
Yeah, well, he has his own movie theater. That's not the one that he went to. He went to see it on Blur, but I think that's the way that they meant for you to watch that film, because Tarantino actually has his own movie theater that was playing it, like off of like actual. Yeah, 70 millimeter. Thank you. Yeah. There you go. Yeah,
okay.
You watch movies for historical accuracies, you're an effing yeah. Once upon a time, as very well, like it more and more. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so yeah, you know. All right, guys. So yeah, as we get into it though, and we go through the topics, you know, we'll try to hit up the comments kind of more towards the end of us wrapping up the topics. But you know, feel free to jump in. You know, let us know what your answers to some of these are. But just kind of for the sake of moving things along, we'll probably just address them at the end. My experience with this movie though is I also believe I saw this in theaters, but I had a different experience in the sense that I really enjoyed it. But this is coming off of me. And although I guess it's the same, like you just said, like I was really into Tarantino at this time, like, because what, this is 2009 this came out. So yeah, how old would I have been? 1922. Yeah. So this is like after I had discovered him in my late teens. So this was, I think, the first, like Sal actually said, I think this is the first Tarantino movie I actually got to see in theaters, if I'm not mistaken. No, I may have seen Kill Bill in theaters too, actually, that right before this. Yeah, possibly I might have seen. No, I seen that on Blu-ray, actually. I remember I burnt that movie. Yes. So yeah, this was, I think, also the first Tarantino movie I seen in theaters. So I was fucking hype as hell for this film because I just got into his stuff, right? So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I actually didn't remember that till now. So there you go, guys. That was my first experience with this. The first Tarantino movie I seen in theaters after watching Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown and Kill Bill and Reservoir Dogs. You know, pretty much everything he had come out with up to this time, only a few years prior, right? So how about you, Jay? You said this is your second time seeing this movie?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was the second time because I remember why I didn't want to watch it. It's because I didn't want to read the fucking old movie, man. You know, I did what I had to do, but you know, I'm not a big fan of reading movies that I mean, I'm watching movies that I have to read. There's a reason why I watch movies is because I like to watch movies. It's just like you know, everybody in their subtitles with their parasites and this and that. Not a big fan. I mean, I do what I have to do.
See, every once in a while though, you gotta kind of submit yourself to that because you miss out on some good movies if you're not in the subtitles. I gotta say, like, I agree with
what
you.
You're saying.
It's not like I go and chase all the movies out with subtitles and have to watch them, but you miss out on some good stuff when you don't.
When it's like 50% subtitles, and I'll give it 50%. I kind of lose focus. I just, I don't want to fucking watch it anymore, to be honest with you, right? But it is what it is, and this one is a 2.5 hour fucking movie. And I, you know what? I admittedly, after watching it the second time, I'm pretty sure the second time, right? I do remember watching it right from beginning to end, even the first time. I just don't remember if I read everything, or if that actually absorbs into my head what I read, right? Because I'm still fascinated by what's going on in the scene, right? That's what bothers me about films like that, is that it does distract you sometimes from seeing what's going on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like how you guys were talking about, like cinematography and stuff like that. I mean, just it takes away from a lot of that. For me, at least, right? Because I got to focus on reading it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, no, for sure, it does. Yeah,
he's got a good point. Like, film's a visual medium, right? But I'll touch on that in a category we have tonight. So
interesting.
Yeah. So
this movie ranks kind of low on my Tarantino list, but it's a goodie nevertheless. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we might get into a ranking later on. We'll see, because so Arv set the bar already by saying this is his favorite. And I'll just say that this is definitely in my top 3 of his films, because I am into like World War II stuff, and I do like the revisionist part of this, and we'll get into now where
mad
love this movie. So yeah,
I'm just mad that Netflix couldn't fucking get their subtitles and just make them English, for fuck's sakes. You know how they do with every other film out there. Fuck.
I think that was deliberate, man. Made you read
yeah,
it.
No shit, just to piss me off. That's what they did it for. But yeah.
All right. So I guess without further ado, though, let's get into our favorite scenes of the film. I guess we'll set up a light plot here for you guys. Basically, I guess the movie opens up in like the countryside of France during, I guess, World War II times. There's a guy that comes on the farmer's land and comes to his house looking for Jewish people who are like hiding in the countryside that he's after. It's Christoph Waltz. We get introduced to him as the Jew hunter. So he's got the nickname that they've basically given him, the people of France. And they're in the Nazi occupied, I guess, parts of this throughout the film. And it kind of then jumps forward and we get introduced to the Bastards, who are I guess led by some people from the States that are Jewish, and they've also got some members of their team that are from Germany that are also maybe of Jew heritage as well, I believe, right? For the most part,
I think most of them, yeah.
Yeah, and they scalp Nazis, and they want their scalps. That's basically, they introduce them to this group that is basically there to terrorize the Nazis and kind of basically possibly end the war, but basically stir up a lot of like, they're like Black Ops type shit or something. Like they're there to stir up shit and like, you know what I mean, get closer to, I guess, to Hitler and you know, they're like well known in those parts. Like they're getting a name for themselves, basically, this group of people, right? So and I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that. And then basically it kind of goes from there. Like it's a very loose, I don't know if there's anything.
Jews, man, as simple as that.
Yeah,
there's Nazis and Jews this whole fucking movie long.
Yeah. All right. So Art, why don't you start us off with one of your favorite scenes from the film?
Like easily, man. It's the opening scene, easily. I don't know if you guys picked this too, but this scene, I'm pretty sure it's the whole first act. It's like 15, 20 minutes, and it could easily be a short film. Like it could be its own short film in a festival. It's that good. And I can't believe, as I said, I hated this movie when I first saw it. I can't believe how it just flew over my head, man. So like I don't even know where to start. Like there's the dialogue, there's the cinematography, which I'm gonna go into because the movie opens up. It's supposed to be a reverse Western. This is the way I interpreted it, okay? So this French family is at their homestead. The wife's doing the laundry. She moves the white curtain, and that's a common color you're gonna see. The white. To me, it's like there's this theme of innocence, and then you see the red later on. It's the theme of bloodshed and vengeance and all that. So she moves the white curtain. What do you see? You see the German officers driving up. As soon as she moves that white sheet she's got hanging on the clothesline, and then from there, man, the camera work, bro. It's fucking amazing. You see Hans Landa, who's supposed to be the villain, but for some reason he's treating this family who he's supposed to be interrogating like friends. And everything from the dialogue, the way the cameras move, the way the camera shoots him in the first half of the scene, he's smaller, he's lower. And until he flips the turn, he flips the conversation on his head and he takes control and starts interrogating the farmer. He becomes the bigger one physically in the frame, physically in the angles, everything. And shit, man. And there's one little moment I didn't catch till someone pointed out to me. They said when he walks into the house and he sits down and he asks for milk, and then the daughter's like walking by him, one of the farmer's daughters, and he grabs her hand and he asks her something which I can't even remember now because it's actually the act of grabbing her hand. And he's not just grabbing her hand, he's checking her pulse because he wants to see if she's lying. He right from the beginning, he's making them feel like they're in control, asking for milk, enjoying their homeliness, like pretending like he's a guest in their home. But in reality, every single thing he does is looking for Jews, right? And it's fucking amazing. Just those little subtle things.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Everything's intentional.
Even from which you don't learn till later when he says to them, switching to English. It's not that he's not good at French. He's a master linguist or whatever you want to call it. Like he's linguistic. Like fuck, he knows like 7 different fucking languages that he says in this film alone. That he talks in the film alone. And like, it's not that he doesn't know French. It's that he's just switching to English because he knows if they are hiding somewhere that they won't understand what he's talking about. And he points that out later on. He's like,
he doesn't want them to panic.
Right. Everything's intentional. This guy's like a masterful detective on like a Batman level or something. Like, honestly, like this guy, it's and that's what makes it like you're supposed to hate this man. He is a Nazi fucking hunter that kills Jews for a living. And he's just such a fascinating fucking character right from the get-go. Really. Like he just captures you. Oh man. Go on. I don't know if you have anything else to say about that. You have a good eye though, Arv, with the colors. You always mention something about colors and stuff that goes right over my fucking head when I watch these scenes.
Yeah, honestly, man. Like I always look up ever since Jurassic Park, man. I always look up for colors. It's like a whole language, in cinematography. It's fucking it's a masterclass of suspense. Yes. It's fucking amazing. And like there was something else I was gonna mention. The whole thing when Hans Lando starts smoking his pipe, Tarantino himself said it's because I wanted him to seem like Sherlock Holmes cracked the case. Because when Sherlock Holmes cracks a case, he pulls out the exact same pipe. And everything, man. Like,
my pipe's bigger than yours.
It's like the petite pipe. He's like smoking. And he comes out with a fucking pipe. And it's just like that.
Yeah, and it's bigger than the other guys. It's nuts. Yeah. And it's just I love that it's a different kind of battle because usually in a Western, like what the scene feels like, they battle on a battleground, not in a homestead, right? And the reverse sort of happens. They don't. The tension kind of amps up, whereas here it seems like the tension's going the other way, like they're becoming friends. But then when you have the sudden shift in even Christoph Waltz acting, which he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor that year, there's a subtle face change he does when he discovers that he says the line, "There are Jews hiding under your floorboards, aren't they?" And you see his smile, his little smirk turn into this. It's the most subtle acting, and it takes so much like professionalism and just dedication to to deliver an emotion like that. His smile just drops and his face becomes rigid. I don't know how this guy does it, but it's a close-up and you can tell everything in his face. And I love it's just like 5 seconds, and I love that they focus on his face. I love that he expressed so many emotions because that's when the conversation takes a turn. He's like, oh shit, now he's caught him, and then the other guy, you got to give it to him, the guy who plays Monsieur Le Petit.
Great job in that scene.
Great job. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to act across Christoph Waltz, but this guy, he's crying on command. He's reacting to everything. He's the way they portray control and victimization, and then they flip it. It's such a brilliant scene, man. Every single thing, even the music. When the music kicks in, it's at the right moment. Like even the absence of music is a choice, right? So I love that it wasn't this little soundtrack in the background distracting from the dialogue and shit. But I think there's so many things. I could go on all day about this scene, man, but easily my favorite scene.
So I've listened to a lot of podcasts and interviews and stuff with Tarantino. He himself has said that this is his best monologue that he's ever had in a film, other than the watch up the ass Pulp Fiction monologue that he gave to Christopher Walken. Because he's like, I gave that to Christopher Walken. He's like, that's the only one. He's like, he could probably say it comes close. But he said himself, hands down, this is the best monologue that anybody delivered like in a piece, like a script that he's written in a film, was this one here. And the thing that I kind of like, you're right. He kind of just sets the bar right out the gate with this fucking scene. It's one of the best scenes in the whole film. There's only one other kind of sequence in the film that I really enjoy, which I'll probably mention when it gets to my turn. But it's the, not that there's many good scenes, but like that, but it's close to this one for me is it just like everything in this scene, like upon rewatching it now, everything's so very distinct. Like they everything's so quiet and kind of like, and every like movement, even from filling the pipe to kind of like, the mannerisms, like filling the ink with the inkwell with the pen, with the paper, crisping the paper, okay, like it's just like everything is so intentional, like and distinct, like and it's a quiet scene at times, and they kind of like you gave them the room to kind of breathe and do this, like the little mannerisms, and like I don't know how long they couldn't have taken this, but like the way that it was put together. like looks like it's just like, again, like like a masterful scene, like they kind of did do it that way. Like that's how good it like of a scene it is. And it's that guy's great. In the one scene that he is in at the start of the film, the Frenchman who's a farmer there, that dairy farmer that he goes to visit, it's great, man. I can't I'm glad you mentioned it, because I figured you got to mention this one, because it is the best scene, I would say, of the film. And
absolutely.
And you're like you said, there's so much you can say about this scene. Jay, how about you? What'd you think about it?
I just want to say before Jay starts, there's two other scenes that come close to it, but don't reach the level of it. And I hope Jay picks at least one of them, but if not, it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, no, I like this.
Come back around. You can always throw it out there. Yeah.
I like that the scene in the bar, man, when they're all meet up at the bar. No.
That's the one I was gonna say. That's other than the bar. Yes, that you took it out of my mouth. That's the one I would say is my second favorite scene of the whole film. Is
same.
Same. Well, I like how he caught on to his accent wasn't so similar and stuff like that, and then it led to that whole conversation with the couple of the guys from one of the guys from the Bastards there. I can never remember these. Dude, try to get me to remember people's names in this one. First of all,
Michael Fassbender's character, you mean, or
Archie Hickox?
The guy
Stiglitz?
British?
Yeah, Fassbender, but then there's the other guy too that he was facing off with there, right?
Stiglitz?
Yeah.
Hugo Stiglitz.
Yeah.
Right?
Do I look calm to you?
Now that whole scene was interesting. I mean, just the way that these guys started off just, at a regular bar. And like I was trying to figure out still the history and how it even played a part in any of the, like I said, and I didn't know until afterwards till most of it, that a lot of it is made up, right? There's a lot just made up for the movie, but everything from the way they were having their party and the way the German soldier came in there, and just the way he basically flashing his cock around, saying I'm the big boy in town, right? Is really what he's doing. I have a different way of describing things than you maybe are, but yeah. So and that costume is penis, at no point intended, but yeah. So that scene there too, and just the bar in the back, the I don't know, it was set up, everything, like I like you said in that first scene, everything is set up perfectly, and it's like where do they go wrong? And I'm not even going to get into the part where after the shoot off. I'm just talking about the whole bar scene itself, right? Like where they're doing the whole conversation,
all of them sitting there playing the game,
and how they figure it, and how they're all figuring it out, and how they're doing. That's what the one like you just we were talking about in the beginning with the 3 and the 3,
right. But the thing I think is the best for me, that makes like sparks, that makes that scene so much better though, Jay, is when they introduce that random guy around the corner, nonetheless. Like he's literally at the end of the bar and in a corner
by himself.
Right. And he's like, might I inquire? All of a sudden he's in there with a beer. Might I inquire? He's literally just listening to everything. And meanwhile, you like look at the scene and you like see them in the bar, like, where is this guy? Then they literally pan like down the fucking bar, and he's like in a corner, literally at one table by himself. And just like, as soon as you see that, you're like, fuck. Like watching it for the first time, I'm like, oh fuck, these dudes around the corner.
Yeah, you can tell by his uniform too. Yeah. Like, oh shit.
He's when he got the red on his uniform, right? Like when he got the red fucking patch.
Yep. Yeah, like that guy. The jig is up when that guy comes. You're like, oh fuck me.
Well, I mean, just like most Tarantino stuff, they kind of do stuff kind of fishy like that. Like, I mean, look at the way he introduces some of the characters, right? Yes. Like, and he just puts that fucking smack. Everything stops and it's just smack right up in the screen.
I like that
top corner. Yeah, like it freezes everything that else is going on. Everything else that's going on around. Right, again, just has that sign. Like, okay, just so you remember who this person was, right? So I think that was kind of a neat little feature sort of thing. I mean, I don't think he did it in that actual scene there, but it's fun to watch how nervous these guys got around some of these German soldiers, regardless, right? And then Hugo Schlitz, bro. Stiglitz.
Your German balls.
Yeah. He's like, have you heard of our friend here, Hugo? That's when they do that introduction to him, and he's like, everybody's heard of Hugo Stiglitz.
Yeah, and then bang. You show the picture of him, and
his own cutaway. Yeah, his own Family Guy cutaway, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No, I think that was probably my favorite scene. I mean, I have some. I mean, each scene was played out pretty good in this movie, so it was hard to really pick them out, right?
Stiglitz introduction is awesome too. Absolutely, I agree with that. Yeah, see, and Sam Jackson's narrating. Yeah, that's right. He always finds a way to put him in this film.
Squeeze him somewhere.
Cameo.
He's like a piano player or something in the bar before she gets shot or something in the church, like in Kill Bill. With again, he's not, and he's like in the shadows in it too. Like you can barely tell it's Sam Jackson, but if you look, like you're like, oh yeah, it's Sam Jackson, right? Like so like he's always found a spot to put him in. I find
his boy.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I mean, like, Pulp Fiction.
Absolutely. Man. He loves Quentin Tarantino. I mean, like they have a good relationship, those two guys. Yeah. So no, absolutely. He blew up because of Pulp Fiction, right? Like he was in a lot of movies before Pulp Fiction, but I don't think like his career went as much as like into Overdrive as it did. Like once he was in Pulp Fiction, fucking Sam Jackson was in everything after that. It seemed like, right?
He was in Coming to America, Goodfellas, and Jurassic Park before that.
Goodfellas the same year, and he has like a 2-minute part in the film. Like not even like a big part in that movie. He gets shot. Yeah,
he gets shot. I remember.
You mean the same year as Pulp Fiction?
Oh no, not Pulp. Well, yeah, it's around the same time. It is. I think it is around.
It was
96.
No, it was like
2 years before.
It was like 4 years before.
No,
Pulp Fiction was 94.
So yeah,
96.
So Goodfellas was what?
Goodfellas was 1990.
96.
Okay,
was it 90?
And I forget. See, I knew it was around the same time though. But yeah, that's still a few years before though. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, good call. Yeah, no, that's yeah, so that part I was gonna say, yeah, I like the Hugo Stiglitz part. The rendezvous in the basement tavern is definitely my second favorite part, other than the intro, for me. But I gotta say, my favorite, like the most fun moment, like scene for me, is when he meets them all at the film festival and they're acting like the Italian photographers. That for me is the comedy you needed in this movie. Like I love Brad Pitt in this movie. Like every time I watch it, I rewatch this movie. I think every time I laugh so much at those characters, like, and like how they think, like he knows the plan is shit, but they have no fucking other recourse at that point in time. Like, okay, let's go along with that. I know the most Italian.
The most Italian.
Oh God, like. And then you see Hans Landa come and he's just entertaining them because he can see them coming from a mile away. He knows who everybody is. He's got the drop on everybody. He breaks out in that fucking ridiculous laughter, which he's like, what mountains did you break your leg on yesterday here in France? Like, where were you mountain climbing?
I love the way he can laugh on command like that. It's so convincing, man. It made me crack up.
Yeah, I love that part. Every time I rewatch this movie, it's like the part I look most forward to, honestly, because I just die of laughter at that scene. Yeah, for me, that's my, like, even though I know the other scenes are like, again, like masterclass, like masterfully shot, the setting for them, the dialogue, the monologues in those scenes. Yeah, obviously way better than this scene. It's kind of more of a throwaway scene to kind of get to the conclusion, but just that kind of like meet between all of them face to face, and just like how funny of a moment it is, and like how obvious it is that these guys are the fucking bastards, right? Like, and that they don't fucking know a lick of Italian. Like, it's just.
I love how he keeps getting them to repeat their names one more time with a bit more pizzazz.
Fucking smart, man.
Gorlami,
yeah. Antonio Margaretti.
Yeah.
Dominic De Coco. Buongiorno.
Dominic De Coco. Yeah.
Oh, no, he said it right.
Like he's entertaining they know the jig is up too. Everyone's just kind of playing along with it. They're just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like,
yeah. I love how they think they're convincing him, but he's already well beyond them.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so funny, so fucking funny. All right, Arv, what else you got for us? I think I don't know if we hit on your both your scenes, so you must got another best scene here.
Like, obviously, yeah, first scene's my favorite, but like you guys already talked about the bar scene, but my next favorite is where he meets Shoshana for the first time, like face to face in the restaurant, and he orders her a strudel. Yeah. And you know, they have this whole conversation, and there's this debate I noticed when I talked to a friend of mine that's a huge lover of this movie. He's the one that actually convinced me to watch it. He asked me the question before I rewatched it. He's like, do you think that Hans Landa knows that is Shoshana? Like, that is the girl that he let go? And I said, of course not. Why would he? Like, she fooled him. And he said, yeah, but think about it. Think about his plan in the end. He knows that she's going to be hosting the film premiere for the major officers of the Third Reich. And his plan is to escape escape Nazi-occupied France and go to America. Why would he point out even if he knows who that is? Why would he point her out and ruin his plan, like his chances of the Third Reich falling? Because he knows the Third Reich's fucked. He knows it.
Yes.
And he, as he said in the opening scene, he's a Jew hunter because he can think like a Jew. So in the process of thinking like a Jew, he became a Jew. And he likes to flee. He's a survivalist. That's what they did during the wartime, right? So he's trying to survive his current predicament. And I'm like, oh fuck, yo, you're right. And then I'm like, wait, why did he order the strudel and order the cream? And my buddy's like, well, what's the cream? I'm like, the glass of milk is different because he knew that guy was French. He ordered the cream with Shoshana because cream is kosher, and it has to be kosher to eat. And obviously in Nazi-occupied France, they don't care about that because they're not supposed to be any Jews. So he, for fun, orders this non-kosher cream and makes her eat it. And I think that if you look at that scene again, and you can tell he keeps raving about the cream. Oh, this restaurant has such good cream, blah blah blah. And then he fucking, after the conversation, he puts a cigarette in it and then bounces. He didn't even finish it. And I'm like, oh god, my perspective on that just changed, man. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that one. I mean, not so much the kosher aspect of it, which that's really clever. Actually, I didn't really take that into account, but I always felt the fact that he was going on and on about the cream and everything. Like in that moment, I did feel. But that's the thing, the beauty of it, you don't really know realistically. Yes, you have a suspicion that he's playing with her because this guy knows everything. He has the drop on everybody. Yeah. Like he's never really been proven wrong. He's always 10 steps ahead of everybody in this film. I mean, so much so like that's what he says at the end in that speech to Brad Pitt, that he does say that. He's like, yeah, so I was good at detecting. I'm a detective. Like he basically says, like, I'm a great detective. So this is basically the role I took on for, you know what I mean? Like that's like you said, like you just pointed out, like he just kind of made the best of a bad situation that he was kind of in terms of like working for the Nazis. Yeah. His heart was even like the Jew hunter name. He didn't really like it. He admitted at the end. He's just like, yeah, he's True. Like, you like every name that you're given or whatever. Not that you're supposed to be sympathetic towards this guy because like he's done terrible, terrible things. I mean, even at the end, he fucking chokes the shit out of that actress there, right?
Smart.
Yeah, thank you. And so, yeah, you're not supposed to feel bad for the guy, but he is definitely he's a smart individual. But that's what makes him so interesting. And like, I don't know any other movie where you're supposed to feel like the Nazi killer. It's like
he's got this charm to him, man. I don't know how to fucking. He's so good at what he does.
Yeah, no,
I mean the actor, not the character.
Well, he's good at that too. As he says in this film, he does show off about it.
True.
That's right. but yeah, he takes great pride in his work. Like he's offended at the end where Brad Pitt was like, "Oh, so you already knew who all of us were," and he's like, "Come on." He's like,
"We're not on the same level. Come on."
Like, you know who? Yes, like I thought we had the same mutual respect for one another's work here. Like essentially, like he's like, really, like, come on, man. I knew everybody. Like gonna drop on you guys right away when you walked into the place. You think I haven't fucking interviewed every single person you put a Nazi symbol on? Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everyone they scalped, or no, they survived the scalping.
Yeah, exactly. So.
That was crazy, watching them do that.
Yeah, that was. All right, Jay, what else? Got any other?
You know that there's a quick scene. I don't know how quick you caught on to, but when they were trying to get the 30, when Shoshana, what's her name? Shoshana, what's that? When she's trying to make she's trying to get the guy to do the 35 millimeter film for her, and she kicks the shit out of him because he wasn't going to do it. There was that quick scene. I don't know what it was about it, because that whole plot and how they were trying to explain on how they were, going to take down the movie theater, right? How she was explaining to her lover there, her French lover over there, and they had that whole plot on how they were going to figure out how to get it transferred over and this and that. But just that little scene, I don't know what it was where they just threw it in there quick. It wasn't even in a scene something like where you needed to kick the shit out of somebody. It was something that you would like throw in the middle of Goodfellas or something like that, like a different style movie. But it caught my eye for some reason, and I enjoyed that scene. That was another good scene of mine that personally that I like, just the way it was, the whole plotted out, the way they kind of plotted it out. But that scene, for some reason itself, the way she kicked the shit out of him, I don't know. It's just a grown man like that. It was a little bit it was a little too much for me at that point, because I had already fell for this broad in this movie after that point. You know what I mean? So like, this girl's doing her own thing. But she started kicking ass, and it was like, that was that scene.
And right, and like the fact that they were prepared to like basically kill themselves for the greater good, like you know what I mean? Like
she was hosting that move,
they weren't going to make it out of that theater really alive, like, you know what I mean? Like you said, her lover, when he threw the, like, he's sitting with all that explosive film behind there. Yeah, he knew there's no way you're getting out of there. They like, right. And to your point, that's another great scene, is the climax of her being on the actual, splicing her face into the film and basically calling them all out, and fucking as they burn fucking buddy, they bastards.
Like the fucking Ring, man, or something.
Yeah. I love how when the screen burns down, the projector projects her face onto the smoke, and it looks like this ghostly fucking, it was crazy. It's like,
dude, I was focusing on the words, okay?
The maniacal point is occurring at that point. Well, that's what I mean. That's the fucking the balls to the wall, like kind of crazy fucking Tarantino violent moment in the film, is that moment right there where it kind of goes insane. Like you said, like where he's shredding up a fucking clearly fake, like Hitler like costume, like, on the ground, where he's just like putting bullet holes like all in his face, like shooting, like, oh, you know what I mean? It gets ridiculous. At that point, it's just hyper violent, like fucking like Kill Bill like style at that time, right? Like it gets ridiculous, and that's but yeah, that's what I mean. That's the moment. Again, he did the same thing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He kind of does that. It kind of seems like at the end, he's like, okay, here's the crazy violent moment you guys have been wanting. Here it is, right? Like that was the climax of that film, essentially, right? But yeah, it was nice how everything kind of worked out. I mean, even with her prior to getting shot prior to the end by the actor that's in the film, fucking aka Winter Soldier, not Winter Soldier, Zemo, Baron Zemo.
Yeah, Zemo, yeah.
For Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that the only other moment I have is the one is the Bear Jew part where he comes and fucking clubs that guy in the face. That part's awesome, just because of the suspense they build of him hitting the actual wall in that tunnel that he hit in. And even the part
I
when
love
he
the
comes
little musical cue too.
Yeah.
When he starts walking through.
And he hits the bat like on his like what he has on his chest there, and he's like, "Oh, what'd you get?
Like,
what'd you get that for? Killing Jews or whatever?" And he's just like, bravery, and he's like, "Oh yeah, hey!" He fucking cranks it with the fucking bat. And as soon as you hear that crack, he's done. Like, there's no point of even him beating him. That fucking one crack to the head, he was dead, like right there. And that.
Oh yeah, you can even see his body just shivering after. Like the first hit just took him out, and then the rest is overkill.
Tarantino has to have some overkill in that shit, man. Like really, bro. You see it from afar, it looked like a fucking the way it squashed when the camera was zoomed out, so it made it go all fucking nuts. But yeah, no, it did. Yeah, that was
the music. Yeah, and then
the whole soundtrack is awesome.
Yeah, Sal mentioned a great scene he really loved is when Shoshana is getting ready for the premiere.
Yes.
Perfect song choice with David Bowie's Cat People. Yeah, there you go.
And that
Which I thought
red suit.
it worked well, but it seemed a little out of place in this film. Quite frankly, I felt, but it worked. You're right. I think at first I was like, that seems like too modern of a song to be playing in this, but you know what I mean? Like it worked. It worked out well, I think. Yeah, because a lot of the rest of it is like just score and stuff like that. Score is like the soundtrack and like not really popular song, really, right?
It's like orchestral and
because I think then he went on to work with what's his name, Ennio Morricone or whatever the hell that guy's name, the guy that does all the Western music and stuff.
Ennio Morricone,
yeah, that's it. Because he's known for doing all the Western music and stuff, and then he went on to work with him in The Hateful Eight, and then he kind of did which is that's again it's a shame because some of his best stuff that he did with music and kind of cinematography is in that film. I still stand by that. Not that this movie is not great for that either, but yeah, it's just I don't love the movie all that much, but I love everything else about it. The story is where it kind of I'm just like it's okay for me in terms of ranking them.
I got to agree with you. Hateful Eight has gorgeous cinematography, but remember, cinematography isn't just a pretty picture. It's where you put the camera. It's where you put how you block and stage your actors. And like the first scene of this movie we were talking about, I didn't go into it, but like, yeah, exactly. Camera movement. All those tell a story atop on the actual story. Like that's what makes directing. That's why they give out awards for directing. So I think it would match. There's different kinds of cinematography depending on your movie, but yeah.
Well, to your point, though, the rest of the film then just becomes Reservoir Dogs in a room, though, like in a room, kind of just them talking about. No, but that's what I mean. So to your point, there's not much there once you get to that scene, but it's all about that opening sequence once again in The Hateful Eight, as you're coming through the snow, and it takes like fucking 20 minutes for that carriage to actually, like, it literally does. Like 10 minutes of the film, you're not even seeing any like people talking. You're just watching this fucking scene in the snow, right, come down. It's crazy looking. But yeah, it's a beautiful scene, but you're like, even like in the theaters, I was like, all right, how long is this fucking scene going to take? Like, I want to see Jackson here. What's going on? Oh yeah. So a fun fact, Tarantino originally wanted Adam Sandler. I have heard this, Sal. Yeah. To play the Bear Jew. Yes. He couldn't be making funny people, which is a shame because
my God.
Yeah, which is a real shame because that's one of my least favorite Judd Apatow films. So,
same.
So Tarantino and I love Judd Apatow films, but Tarantino cast Eli Roth. Yeah, the director, his buddy. Yeah, awesome horror director. Yep, absolutely.
Green Inferno. Yeah.
He'll be coming up in these categories, Sal. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, he will be.
Do you guys have anything else? Do you have anything else before we move on here? No. Okay.
No.
All right. Favorite
quote? Days about it, man.
I know that's the thing.
We're already an hour into the show here. We've only got through one category, but that was
thinking the same thing.
But the scenes always takes up a while. I mean, scenes. Again, once we get to some of these other ones, it'll be a little quicker. So, all right. So, favorite quotes. Let's see here. I want to start this one. Guess I can start this one. All right. So yeah. So like Jay said, he did bring up a good point about how since we are reading some of this, like some of the quotes maybe aren't as hard hitting because you don't really get to hear them in like English language. Some of them you're reading them, so it may not have like the same impact maybe while watching the film. I will agree with you there. It was harder to pull out quotes because of this. I'm sure I've got a couple here that were kind of that I read the subtitles for that were still really good dialogue. But so the first one I wrote down here was each and every man under my command owes me 100 scalps, and I want my scalps. When he introduced to the Aldo, the Bastards, basically the whole intro of him explaining. And apparently that is also based on a real person. There was a person apparently that was scalping Nazis, I think at that time, and that so maybe not the whole idea of the bastards or something like that. Yeah. Now this is information that was given to me by Peter, who also was a fan of this film and knows a lot about the war stuff. He said, so I'm going off of what he told me earlier today because I looked up some stuff about this. He said that Brad's character is based off of native commander who scalped Germans, so there is some truth to it.
Oh, nice.
So again, we were talking about the the inaccuracies where he kind of related some stuff to real facts and real people, but then changed it for it to work in this film, right? So that apparently is the case with that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Say off you to sentient Nazi boss.
But yeah, that was my first quote that I wrote down. Jay,
I got when Brad Pitt's going, we ain't in the prisoners taking business, we in the Nazi killing business. It's booming. The business is booming. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to get like little quotes, man, because most of this shit is dialogue, to be honest with you.
I'll
leads into a quote.
For me, basically everything Brad Pitt says in this movie
is a quote.
Oh yeah, like most of the quotes I wrote down are Brad Pitt stuff because I love his character in this movie, and he does act as that person that you kind of he does. He acts as you needed a character like Brad Pitt that's like, you know what I mean, like American fucking, ignorant kind of like whatever war tough, like, you know what I mean, like guy in this, like amongst everybody else, you know what I mean, because everybody still does sound more sophisticated because they're speaking all these different languages. And then he got him who's fucking like, I speak the most Italian, like, you know what I mean, like he need that type of character to kind of for the comedy relief as a result of everything else going on right in a way, right? So
yeah. Absolutely.
No, and that's the thing too, is like I said, with the whole reading part, like I said, it's hard to take out some of the quotes because there was quotes in those, trust me, in some of those stuff they said in a different language, right? And then they were saying it in French or Jewish, right? When they were talking either or. Weren't they talking both at one point, right? Where they were switching back and forth. So there was some good stuff in there too. But dude, I'm trying to write all at the same time. You got me doing like fucking 3 things. Watch TV. I'm used to just watching a movie and that's it, right? No, but they had me. This was a third thing they added in there. Is just the reading part. I'm gonna keep saying it's the reading part. Man. I'm not as quick as everybody thinks I am.
Okay,
no, not such a good thing. But
I don't think anybody thought that. We know you don't even read books, so don't worry about it.
Hey, the only book I've been reading lately is these ones, man. Where I've been writing shit down.
Thank you for it. It's a lot of work.
And I try to read my notes, man. Try to read my notes.
Mine are pretty bad.
Try to read my notes. I'm trying to figure out the next day. That's the problem. This is the best part. Is trying to figure it out. Oh my god.
Holy.
I have a shorthand like no other. It's fucking like
I just write it on my phone right there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's all. All that shit.
Oh, very nice. How about it, Arv? What do you got first up for your quotes?
So I want to go with something different, and I'm glad you guys didn't pick this because I love this line. This is the best line when you know you're dead. Like this guy, he knew he was fucked. So it's Michael Fassbender, Archie Hickox.
I have that written down. I have that fucking one written down.
Okay, good.
Go ahead, deliver it. Yeah, it's great.
So the whole conversation is him talking German, and then when he gets made because of his the way he makes the 3 on his hand when ordering the beers. Well, if this is it, old boy, I hope you don't mind if I go out speaking the King's.
Yeah, the King's
speech. As in the King's speech, yeah. And then Major Hellstrom, who's the German officer who figures him out, he's like, by all means, Captain. And at this point, they got their pistols pointed at each other's balls. And
both fucked at this point.
Yeah, they knew it. He
says there's nowhere you're going. Like
we're not going with the other one.
We're not going anywhere. But
Hugo's got his fucking pistol right on his dick. Like they're done. And Archie, Michael Fassbender, he picks up his glass of scotch, which he ordered earlier, and according to him, it's a 33-year aged scotch. And he's like, "There's a special rung in hell reserved for people who waste good scotch. Seeing as how I may be rapping on the door momentarily." And then he drinks his scotch, and he's like, "I must say, damn good stuff, sir." That's among his last lines in the movie, and that's such a badass way to go out, man. I have to give it to him because I love the way they wrote the ending of that character.
Because he does.
Who said something like that? Yeah. It's such a calm.
Yeah, like he's just like he doesn't even do that noise, but he's like, I gotta say, it's damn good stuff. Yeah. I have that exact scene written down, and he's great in that scene. Honestly, like that's what makes that scene. We didn't really touch on it earlier because I figured we were gonna talk about it, but when Jay mentioned this scene, that lead up of him kind of just being like, okay, well, he's a spy, so he knows the deal. Like, you know, he's like, this is it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's a great exiting line, like you said, to go out on. Yeah, absolutely.
And usually like action heroes go out with like this one liner that's badass. This guy goes out with class. It's so opposite, man, but it's unexpected and it's just awesome when you hear it back, especially every rewatch. I'm like, oh, here it comes. And then you get the famous line we're talking about. Say he's like, Stiglitz, I'll feed to send to your balls. And it just everyone's balls get shredded. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I've had a gun pointed at your testicles. Not down.
Exactly. Well, that makes two of us. He's got his Walter PP9.
And to follow up with that one, again, another Brad Pitt quote is after when they go down there and they kill what's his name, Maximilian's father, and he's like, you didn't say it was a goddamn rendezvous in the. Oh no, this is at the start. This is at the start
before,
before he fucks off and they kind of go and meet at the bar that night when they're kind of like you know, checking the place out. He's like, you didn't say that it was a goddamn rendezvous in a fucking basement. He's like, I didn't know. He's like, you said it was in a tavern. It is a tavern. Yeah, in a basement. You know, fighting in a basement is rather difficult. Number one, you're in a fucking basement. What does he say? Well, number one, you're fighting. Yeah, you're fighting in a fucking basement. Yeah, you're fighting in a basement. Number one being you're fighting in a basement. Yeah, that's the number one reason. Yeah. And and then you mentioned it earlier, Arv, already, where he's sitting there sharpening the blade, Hugo Stieglitz there, and he's like, he walks over to him, and he's like, "What? I don't look calm to you?" And he's like sitting there.
If anything pops off, I want you to stay calm. I don't look calm to you.
Like, now that you mention it, I guess you do. Yeah, that was good. No, Jay, what else do you have?
Oh, the part where it's Lando and fucking Brad Pitt there. I can't remember his character there.
Aldo
and Lando. Yeah, when he's going, is it the way he says? Is that how you pronounce it? Bingo?
It's a bingo.
It's bingo? No, it's just bingo. Like the way he just says it, like
this guy gets giddy.
Like, the bingo.
Yeah, the way he said it. I was hoping one of you guys was gonna remember how he did it. Like the actual.
I have that written down.
It came weird. It just came. It didn't really come out of anywhere. Like where did it come from? That's what I'm trying to figure out in the movie. Like,
that's it. He's like, ooh, and he does like one of these, like kind of like, yeah. He's like, ooh, but he's so impressed with himself at that moment. Like he like lays it all out for them. And he's just like, oh, I'm gonna get away with it. You know what I mean? Like he's just like
exactly.
so
okay. I get it.
That's why
with himself and like and like because he knows where he's going with it. He's
so happy outsmarted.
Yeah, that's why he kind of has that. But you're right, it is funny and seems out of character for him. So I don't know if that was improv. I know Tarantino is very specific with kind of like his script and stuff like that. But like, the way he did that was pretty awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, he gives you that little laugh in between. He had those good parts that can make you laugh, right? That guy, even with his quotes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny because Tarantino, he basically said, I think it was in an interview possibly at some point, if you watch Django Unchained, the film he did after this, like he basically put him in the movie as well, but it was the opposite. He was the German guy that was trying to help out all the like the black people. Like he's like, I made him the Nazi, the bad guy in the first one, so I had to pay him back.
The dentist.
The dentist, the German with the heart of gold or whatever in the second one, where he felt that slavery was wrong. Like, so he said he purposely kind of wrote him for that part, knowing that the fact he made him out to be a Nazi fucking, a Jew killer in the first one. He's like, okay, I kind of had to put him in this role. Not as good as this role. I will say that. Not as good as this role, unfortunately, for him. I don't think he's done. I mean, again, this might come up later, but I have to say it now. I don't think he's done as good a role as this in Hollywood since then, unfortunately. I think he's a good actor. He's a great actor, but I don't think there's been as good of a role as he had in this with his introduction to American audiences, which is a shame because he kind of like, you know what I mean? Like that's how he got introduced. And I don't think he's ever reached that high again since personally, but
he just blew his load all over Inglorious Basterds, man. Like it's just you're right. He does have range though. He's got range. Like in Django Unchained. He plays the opposite role, right? But
yes,
he to me he's still a great actor. Like even if he can't play a
no,
little
he's
girl or something, you know.
he's a great actor. No, he's a great actor. That's what I mean. I don't want to diminish like you know what I mean. Like say like he's not a good actor by saying that. I just think that this. I don't want to say it's tailor made for him, but it's just, you know, it's one of those roles that every actor kind of like, you know what I mean? Like is like, unfortunately, like this for me, I don't know what he did prior to this when he was not known to American audiences, but I think he's just so good as his character. I gotta as this guy, right?
I gotta go on hold for a second, bro. Please, I'm gonna put you on the mic on hold as an emergency on the other thing. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. So Arv, yeah, if you want to move on, let me know, Jay, what's going on, if there are any issues. Arv, you want to go ahead with your quote?
Yeah, the other one was actually it was the one Jay said, and what was it again? You remind me. I have that as my second quote. Why am I drawing a blank here?
I don't know which one.
Shit. He just said it. It was his last pick.
The bingo.
Yes, that's a bingo. Yes, that's a bit because I think in the context of the story, it's a different face of Hans Landa that you see.
Yes.
And you see his excitement because it's like, wait, the villain's not supposed to be winning this story. And the way he delivered the line with this like childish giddiness, it was so funny because he had played a totally opposite role mostly for the whole movie. And then you see, oh, that's a bingo. And, you know, that's the one everyone quotes and whatever. But it's just the delivery of it was so funny. Like, I love that he took the reins on how he delivered that line. I don't know if it was, as you said, I don't know if it was Tarantino or if it was him, but that's how you pronounce it, right? Like he's already trying to get accustomed to American culture because he thinks he's free. He thinks his plan is playing out until he gets fucking, you know, the swastika on his forehead. But
that's why that's last scene is just such a great capper to the film. Honestly. Like it's just like, yeah, he got away with it, but guess what? Like we're not gonna forget who you are. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I'm pretty sure you're gonna take off them uniform when you get there, right? He's just like, yeah, that's what I thought. Because he knows as soon as he says that, you could see in his eyes, like the acting, he does such a good job. You can tell the gears are moved, like he already figured out what they're leading up to. He's like, oh no, he knows.
That's the first time you see fear in his eyes instead of the other way around.
You're right, and that's why he doesn't answer. He actually doesn't say anything. He has a look on his face, and then Brad was like, "Yeah, that's what I thought." Yeah,
words without words, man.
Exactly. What else did I have here? The basement one. Don't look calm. I got that. The testicles one. He said Sal in the chat.
Peterson. Yeah.
The whole Fassbender, the speech. He said that. Now, this is afterwards when he's like he's interrogating von Hammersmark or whatever. He pushes the bullet into her leg because he thinks she was like part of it or something. He's kind of pissed that there's guys got killed, right? He's like, yeah, we got a word for that in English. It's called suspicious. I can see how this looks or whatever. And he's trying to say it like it looks rather odd or something like that, right? And he's just, yeah, we got a word for that in English. It's called suspicious.
Oh, you know what? That actually reminds me of another quote. I forgot to write it down, but I wanted to. I didn't have my phone out at the time I was watching it, but early on when he's introducing I forget his name, but the bear Jew. He calls to him when he's on the other side of the tunnel. He calls to him. He's like, Donnie. His name's Donnie. Yeah. So Donnie, we got a German here that wants to die for his country. Oblige him. And just the way he says oblige him. It's so, man, I remember I was saying it after I saw the movie, like for the first time when I didn't even like it. And I love the delivery of that line. Oblige him.
Well, when he won't give him the information again, the way he scoops up the map, he's like, oh yeah, no, that's all right, man. Like he's just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, he's like, we were all kind of hoping that you would do that. Yeah, he scoops up the map. It's so ham-fisted, like of a performance. It's so put on his ad, but he knows it. It's like very evident. You know what I mean? Like Brad Pitt just plays that fun kind of, he's like a great character actor. Like, so he knows, like he really leans into this character. Like you kind of have to make it work. Cause the whole idea of it's kind of ridiculous. They're going around scalping fucking Nazis, but awesome at the same time. Right. That's what makes it like, you know, a pretty cool movie. Right. Like to kind of to think about that premise. Right. But yeah, no, and then, you know, some of the other shit I wrote down here is, again, like a lot of the dialogue from that scene when they get to the cinema, the whole thing about the quotes I had, like, I speak the most Italian, I'll be your escort. John speaks the second most Italian, so he'll be your cameraman, and Omar will be his assistant. He's like, I don't speak Italian. He's like, yeah, like I said, third best. Just keep your fucking mouth.
I love this setup, man. Oh my god! And then when Hans Landa starts talking Italian, and you see them just exchange looks like, see, like, they don't have to respond to him.
But that's what's so awesome about it too, because they're like maybe sitting there thinking that he doesn't know Italian. And I'm like, of course this fucking guy knows Italian. Like, that's what I mean. Like, he's like, and the fact that he's such the perfect casting for that, he actually knows all those languages. Like, Tarantino said that's why it was so difficult to cast him. I think he said, like, if he is German, like, I'm pretty sure he is, but or whatever he's from, I think he is. Yeah. He was on German soap operas, he said, prior to this. Like, he apparently was a big actor on TV. I heard him say in some interview, and like, because it's one of those things where Tarantino pulled a Tarantino, like, he like brought people's careers back, like, you know what I mean, like these actors, old actors that people have forgotten about, like he did with like in Pulp Fiction and stuff like that, like he did for John Travolta and shit like that. Like, this guy, people are like, where did you find this fucking guy? Because he was not an American actor, right? But he needed somebody that knew all these languages and and was able to pronounce everything so, like, authentically. So, like, he scored big time with this guy. Jay, is everything okay? What's going on?
Yeah, you know what? Like, it's okay right now. I got to keep my phone beside me, so it's all good.
No worries, man. If you got to dip out, just let me know what's going on. All right.
I'll keep you posted, bro.
Yeah, we can always close up the show if you gotta. Just let us know. All right.
No, I gotta keep going.
Okay. Yeah, and then the whole thing with the names, the Gorlami and Antonio Margheriti. So I don't know if you guys noticed, if you guys have watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, there's actually a callback to the Antonio Margheriti in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood during one of the spaghetti westerns, because he goes to Italy to film that in the movie. It says starring or directed by Antonio Margheriti on actually one of the posters. Really? that Leo's character, when he goes to do the spaghetti westerns, because he films 3 spaghetti westerns in Italy or something in the movie. If you ever rewatch that, look for the posters when they're talking about, like, when he's whoever the narrator is narrating it, they're talking about him doing all those spaghetti westerns in Italy for the director at that time, because his career was, like, not doing so well. So he had to go to Italy to film all these, and he got his Italian wife and all that. If you look in the movie poster on one of the films that they show him on, it says directed or starring, and it has Antonio Margheriti's name on there. So I just thought that was such a cool callback. If you rewatch that movie, definitely look for it, because it's an interesting catch that I actually didn't notice when we were in the film. My girlfriend did. She noticed it, and she pointed it out to me while we were watching in the theater. I was like, oh shit! I'm like, I didn't notice, because that's like our favorite. We always do that. Antonio Margheriti, Dominic De Coco. So stupid.
One more time, Dominic De Coco.
Jay, any other quotes you had?
I don't know what you guys took out. Well, I disappeared there for a second for me, but
covered quite a bit. I mean,
I was gonna say, the part where he comes in and he asks, "Can I smoke my pipe as well?" And he says, "Please, Colonel, make yourself at home." And that's when the Colonel pulls out that fucking huge pipe, right? Like, it just that quote went so well, man. I wasn't expecting to see a fucking horn come out. Right?
The Sherlock Holmes pipe.
Yeah, it made the quote kind of stick out to me, right? So it was like, you weren't expecting the fucking cornucopia over there, fucking the way he's smoking it, right?
Sal's got a couple of comments here. He's talking about Christoph Waltz here. I thought his role in Django was really redundant. He hasn't topped this movie. You're absolutely right. Yeah, no, I do think so. I as good of an actor as he is. Then also he says here, there's also the movie Leonardo DiCaprio does in Once Upon a Time where he kills Nazis with a flamethrower. Yep. This something fists of something. Yeah, 7 fists of something. I forgot what the fuck the movie's called, but I always thought that was a reference to Inglorious. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that's
True.
you know that's what's funny about the Quentin Tarantino. It's that a lot of his films, it seems like they belong in the same universe of sorts, sort of, kind of. You know what I mean? Like some of the characters.
It's all a multiverse, bro. It's a
Right.
Tarantino multiverse, bro.
There's a character in Hateful Eight that's supposed to be the great grandfather of a character in this movie. I forget who it is now. I read it a while back, but if you look it up, you'll see there's two characters connected between the two movies. It's deliberate.
I think it was Fist. I think it was Fist of McCluskey, not Feet. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was McCluskey. That's
McCluskey.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that again.
So someone was related to somebody in this film that's in the Hateful Eight. Oh, interesting. I don't think I caught that.
Yeah, I forget who it is, but if you Google it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it either.
Right. Are any more other quotes, or is that it for your quotes?
Yeah, I just had those three, and then who's?
I'll leave you off with this one that I had. This was also a really nice delivered line by Christoph Waltz at the end of the film when he's talking to Brad Pitt. He's like, "But in the pages of history, every once in a while, fate reaches out and extends its hand," where he basically is telling him, where he's like, normally you'd be right. He's like, why are you helping us like end the war? And he basically says, like, this is that 99.5% times you'd be right. But he's like, every once in a while, he's like, this is that opportunity I'm presenting you with it right now. Like, and this is your chance. Yeah. Takes out Hitler. I just thought that was because he's sitting there, he's like this, he's so full of himself in that moment, right? He's pouring them wine, the Chianti, right? He's like sitting there, he's just like, he gives them the glass. Yeah, no, it's a great scene. It's a great scene. But Jay, end us out. Do you have whatever else you want to mention here in terms of quotes? Because
you probably got the whole. That's Brad Pitt. Another Brad Pitt quote was, "My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain," right? And I'm looking at myself, for some. What does he say? I'm putting together a special team, and I need 8 soldiers, 8 Jewish soldiers, right? So I thought that was a nice little delivery of a quote there. I mean, like I said, I most of mine were his. Like I said, they. A few of them here and there.
He has the funnest dialogue out of everybody in the movie. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's that. I gravitate towards. And like I said, every time I rewatch this, I really appreciate Brad Pitt in this film. So
yeah.
Where at first I was just like, it's just Brad Pitt, right? To be honest, the first time I saw this, I was like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't too impressed, but like every subsequent watch since, and I've watched this movie probably several times at this point. I'm less like every time I'm like, thank God for Brad Pitt in this movie.
he's the comic relief, man.
Honestly, out of everything he's done since then, like his stuff in the Tarantino movies between this and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like my favorite stuff that he's done. I think he plays great, fun characters. Tarantino knows how to write for Brad Pitt. Like, I don't know why, but he writes good Brad Pitt stuff. I hope they keep working together. Quite honestly.
He has one more movie left, Tarantino, I think.
That's what he said. That's what he says. I hope not, but we'll see. All right, so Jay, I think this is starting off with you. Favorite performer in the film. Why don't you start us off with that?
I mean, I don't know how many of you guys picked him, but I can't remember his name, but it's Landau. I think he was probably the best in the whole film. I mean, just the way
Christoph Waltz. Yeah,
Christoph Waltz. Yeah, Christoph Waltz. Because just every little bit that he was in, he did an amazing performance. I don't know if he won any awards for this. I didn't look that far into it. If
he got an Oscar.
Awards into it. He did. He won an Oscar for this one.
Best supporting actor. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just something fun to watch that part. I mean, yeah, okay, he was speaking fucking 3 different languages for me at times, which right?
Is impressive all on its own, like there. I mean,
exactly.
That itself is impressive, right?
I mean, and I'm pretty sure those accents, and I'm pretty sure those were dead on speaking. Like, I mean, even the Italian sounded pretty realistic. So, I mean, I think didn't he speak a little bit of the way he was saying it, but just the way it rolled off the tongue, you know what I mean? Like, he was saying it properly, and he said a few things here and there, right? But he all around was probably my favorite in this movie. Just his nonchalant way of I don't know if you want to say outwitting them or whatever he was doing. Yeah. But yeah, man, he just played it.
It's outsmarting. Yeah, he was. He's 10 steps ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the guy, I don't think they could have probably picked anybody better for that role. I don't know. I've never seen anybody act like that. It's a weird style, and it's just a weird demeanor. You have to be a certain, I don't know, man, a personality maybe.
I don't know how. That's what I mean. Like, it's amazing.
Like, how do you cast for that?
I can't imagine anyone else in that role, man.
No, but how do you develop that role in your head, like to play that role too? Like, I mean, it's not something that just.
Well, I will say,
it's gonna come naturally.
Tarantino's one of those guys that will write like a whole fucking backstory for his characters even before he writes like the script, the screenplay for it. So like he knew that character inside and out. So I think that you got to give a lot of credit to Tarantino because when he talks about his characters, like even recently he actually just brought out a novel, like I don't know, several months ago, that's actually like continuing the story of the characters in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And apparently, like if you're a fan of that film, I've heard that the novel adds so many different layers and stuff to these characters, and he's already basically imagined their whole career as the years went on, apparently, like in their movie career. So like that's what I mean. Like this guy, he's one of those kind of guys that really thinks about backstory and future kind of things that happen to the character. Like he actually, like, they're living, breathing people. Like, yeah, I gotta give what you were just saying. I gotta give the nod to him for that, quite honestly, because like, yeah, I'm sure he made it his own as well. Like I don't want to take anything because he won. You know, he fucking won the award. Like it's like a fantastic performance, right? Not to take anything away from him, but I think Tarantino has a lot to do with that. I think when it comes to how he wanted that character to be, like, absolutely right. I think, yeah. So
yeah,
he was great, man, and probably that's what I mean. Out of everybody, that's my favorite. I mean, that was my favorite performer out of everybody. Usually, you know me, I go with Brad Pitt and whatever, you know that, right? Like,
it's hard not to pick it. It's hard not to pick him.
He's the common pick. Yeah. He's all over the poster, everything.
Yeah.
So,
Arv?
It's Christoph Waltz, man. Like, I mean, I'm glad. In retrospect, I hated the movie before, but you know, I didn't even care that he won the Oscar at the time. But now watching it again, it's like, oh fuck, I'm so glad they gave it to him, man. Like he carries this movie. If that was another role altogether, like if they had cast, I don't know, fucking some German guy, some other German guy who was fluent in 3 languages and shit. I couldn't picture it. I don't know how well he'd do as Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
And it's like I mentioned before, it's not just acting. It's not just the lines, not the way Tarantino's telling him to do stuff. It's those little subtle things, you know, that are hard to do. They're signs of a professional actor.
Yeah.
That it tells so much, man, without saying any words. It's just, you know, there's so much to his performance that deserves that award.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It's not even just the acting itself. I mean, some of it seems so natural to him.
Presence on the screen, like yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it seems like it comes naturally.
Yeah. Well, it's a full
sign of a good actor, but that's a sign of that's a sign of a good actor. Sorry.
No, it's a full sweep. I'm not trying to interrupt. I'm just trying to say I really don't have anything else to add to this. Like you guys, the words I really. You know, I've already kind of gushed about him throughout our discussion leading up to this. I can't, full sweep. It's undeniably Christoph Waltz. Not only the fact that he won the award, you know what I mean? Like the only other person that comes close, but it's not even close in terms of his performance. It's just a fun character, is like you said, Brad Pitt's character. I just love the character, but it's undeniably. I mean, and you know what? That's not. And there's even the farmer at the start, like that small scene that he had, fantastic. Yeah. The Shoshana, great. Like the actress played Shoshana. Like there's so many good performances in this movie. It's hard to even say. Like I do think it's hands down Christoph Waltz, but I mean, you know, he had those great fucking scenes. I mean, he had a lot to work with, right? I mean, but yes, under the hands of somebody else, it may not have turned out that great, absolutely. But yeah, so you got to give him credit for that. He killed it, man. Yeah. So Christoph Waltz, absolutely. Yeah. Hands down. So there you go.
I think if I had to pick a second, it would be Michael Fassbender. The guy's a great, he's actually one of my favorite actors. And, you know, like I hadn't appreciated him in this. He's great in this, but if you guys have ever seen X-Men First Class, it's the first X-Men movie he's in. There's a scene which I think Yeah, Magneto. He plays Magneto, and there's a scene in a bar where he kills a bunch of Germans that killed his family, and I think it was exactly he drew inspiration from this movie, from Christoph Waltz in particular, because that's my favorite scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in any X-Men movie where this guy interrogates them, and then his whole complexion changes when he reveals himself to be the Jew that got away, that got away from persecution, and then he fucking uses his powers, stabs him with a knife, and it's a brilliant scene. And I think a lot of it, without obviously the mutant powers and shit, is inspired by the first scene in this movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny how you made that connection. It is a weird connection to make, but you're right. Like, that is Magneto's character. Like, that is like his past. Like, that is a story, like a component. Like, that's Magneto's family, right? Like, we lived through
before he became who he was.
Yeah. I love him as Magneto in X-Men.
Don't get him. Don't try to get him on. Don't get him on comedy on us now, right?
As bad as some of those movies are, Days of Future Past is the best one out of those string of films. I would say, out of the new relaunch that they did,
really?
That's my favorite. Days of Future Past is my favorite.
I like
First
one.
Class. First Class is second.
I think I like them both. Yeah.
No, I like them both. I mean, let's not talk about the other ones, Apocalypse and the fucking Phoenix one. Let's not talk about those ones. But First Class First Class and Days of Future Past were pretty great. Like, as much as those movies are inconsistent, I do like those a lot, and I like Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so next up, what do we got here? I always thought
I always never what order you are in.
Oh, of course, my mouse likes to die in between doing stuff here. Okay, next up we got favorite cameo, and that goes over to Arv for this one.
There were actually quite a few, but I'm in particular the head of British intelligence, Mike Myers. Austin Powers. I didn't recognize him until my third rewatch of this movie.
What the fuck is he doing in this movie? I have not heard anybody talk about.
I don't know.
This movie is so random. Was he a big fan of like Austin Powers? And he's like, oh, he can do an English voice. Yeah, I'll put him a British voice. I put him in this.
That's what I'm guessing.
I have no fucking idea what Mike Myers is doing in this movie. Like, I know he does weird casting choices here. Like, and I have nothing against Mike Myers, but like, it just seems so odd, like, that he's in this movie. Like, so weird.
I think like he was in the back lot while they were shooting, and he's like, "Yo, Mike, you want to be in the movie?" And they just got him in this one scene.
Bro, I think the same thing about PJ Novak. I'm like, why is
he plays a British guy?
Why is PJ Novak in this movie? Like, I think the same thing about him being in this film. PJ Novak, like from The Office. I'm like, why? Like, I know he's a writer and stuff like that. So
I'll get to him.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if you had much else to add there. Sorry to jump in there, but yeah, I picked the same pick. I've not heard Mike Myers or Tarantino ever talk about this, by the way, and I've listened a lot of. I've never heard them mention why Mike Myers is in this movie.
Well, he actually, that's why I have him too, because you know what, I seen him play like a Nazi in something else before too. Remember, and he had that little I'm pretty sure he had a little mustache in the middle too at the point. Not like in this one, right. But so, and that's why I kind of clued in. I at first thought it was gonna be that guy award, because like, you know what I mean. I couldn't figure it out for a second, but then I realized after a second, I realized exactly who it was, right?
Was
and
that
I'm
your
like, what the fuck? Yeah, because I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? So I had to pay attention to it, and it was fun, man. But he played, I think he did on SNL or something like that. I think he played a Jewish. There was a skit somewhere down the lines of him playing that type of character before. I think that's why it kind of clued into me that was him.
Isn't he? Like in this one, he's
a British, but he still looks like German in this thing. He still looks German. Maybe that's why they didn't put the mustache in the middle. Right? I mean,
so weird.
A little Hitler.
I don't know my hashtag. Sorry.
What?
It was weird. Like, what the fuck when they opened the, and all of a sudden there he is. It kind of did throw me off, right? But no, he did. It was a good little part for him, man. So
no, good for him. I mean, that's really awesome. Like, yeah, like even if I was
he didn't need to be in it
for 2 minutes, I'd be like, wow.
Yeah, it could have been anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it didn't need to be him.
It's so random. I like for me, this is one of those categories. Upon rewatch for this discussion, I already knew. I literally sometimes I'll look and I'll rewatch and I'll see if any of them change. But a movie like this, I've seen enough times. Sometimes I'll fill in a couple of the categories. When I seen best cameo, I'm like Mike Myers because I never have understood why it's so random. But good, it's cool. Like, yeah.
What is he saying? What's coffee talk? Is that the thing?
Was the old man in that scene Winston Churchill? Oh, interesting. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was Winston Churchill.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because he's sitting at the table kind of in the background. And then when he tells him, he starts trying to quiz him on his movie knowledge, Michael Fassbender's character. And then he kind of goes into long, kind of explanation of the directors and all this other shit because he's like a film student or something, right? And then as soon as he
he's a film critic,
like brief him, like that's the Winston Churchill, right? Okay, that makes sense, because he's like brief him, like as soon as he fucking says that, like he's like, yeah, this guy knows his shit, like, which is funny because it actually comes handy later on where the guy's like, where's that weird accent from? He's like, oh, the film where they filmed it in that like little village or whatever, that town. That's where my family's from. My father in the film.
In the hill.
In the hills.
But like, he was really scrambling at that moment in time because this guy's like, oh shit, I only know like film stuff. He's just like, oh yeah, that movie.
And then he played into that because he said, oh, have you seen that movie? That was me, my sister, my dad.
Yeah,
I love how he used that that was his way out of that.
He did a pretty good job. Like he did a pretty good job until he gave it away with that stupid hand fucking gesture, right?
I was right about the Jewish skit with Mike Myers there. It was on SNL. There you go. You got a fun fact there too. Oh yeah.
Oh, the coffee talk. Yes, I do remember that. I didn't know what he was talking about. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, the old Jewish ladies. Yep. Yes.
But I honestly thought he played like a Hitler style guy in that fucking.
That was during like Phil Hartman's time on SNL and like a bunch of other.
That was back in the
mid-90s.
That's before the Sandler and everybody else came through at that time. Yeah.
Oh wait,
right.
No, that's early '90s. Before he did Wayne's World, I think.
Yeah.
That's where they got the inspiration from it, I guess.
Hey man, don't get me wrong. I like Mike Myers. I just felt it was a weird thing to pop up in, right? So,
but he's like, it's like Sal's not right and not wrong by saying it's like Christopher Walken and the other in Pulp Fiction. I mean, he does do those weird ones where you can find somebody that pops up out of nowhere.
The difference is he wrote that monologue for Christopher Walken, though. He purposely wrote that for Christopher Walken because he wanted to in the film, right? Like,
no.
It's one of the special things, right? Yeah. Okay. What else we got here? So Overacting Award, it goes over to me. And I like how we swept the last two categories. We all picked the same one. That's interesting. So for this, hands down, Eli fucking Roth. That is ridiculous. That accent that he busts out after he smashes the guy in the head. Like, tone it down like 17 fucking notches when he's like honestly, like I get it. You're excited. You smash this dude's head open. Eli Roth, not known primarily as an actor, although he's acted in some things, primarily known as a director. So I'll give him a little bit of a, you know what I mean? Like, I'll shoot him some bail on that one, but absolutely hands down fucking Eli Roth. He is overacting and that accent is like so like out of control Brooklyn accent. Like he overdoes it 110% whenever he's on screen, like in a bad way. Like I was saying how Brad Pitt was kind of overdoing it and he kind of leaned into it and made it really all work. He does not. This guy, like Roth, he does not work. He signs out like a sore thumb. Right, I forgot what baseball fucking player's name he yells out. He's like, yeah, and he hit the home run.
Teddy something.
Yeah.
Teddy fucking blah, 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 knocks it out of the park. Fucking guy.
This fucking Brooklyn accent. Oh, man. How do I not know he didn't write this for Mike? Yeah, no, that's true. You're right. It just seems odd. Again, I just get over it. I just don't see Mike Myers. You're right, though. I don't know that. The Boston accent, I guess, is what he was doing, jarring as fuck. Yeah, Boston. I think he says he's from Brooklyn at some point, or I thought he was from Brooklyn. Maybe it's Boston. I don't know. It's fucking atrocious.
Was it? I thought it was Boston. Yeah.
Is it Boston? Okay, I thought it was Brooklyn. I thought it was Brooklyn.
Who are you guys talking about? Mike Myers?
One of those bees.
No,
Eli Roth.
Eli Roth's character, Sergeant Donnie Donowitz.
Donnie Donowitz.
Yeah. All right, go on. Whatever that accent was, Boston. It was just terrible. JT, go ahead.
I got the guy. I put the guy who played Hitler. I just thought he was. And you know what? If I could have picked any of those Nazi guys, like some of those heavy duty Nazi guys, I probably would have picked it. I just felt like it was overacting. I mean, in a sense, I know it's part of the film, and I get it, but I just thought it was, some of it was just. It was too. From what I was reading, he didn't seem like he had to really react like that. He was only asking about stuff in the movie theater and this and that, but the fucking guy sounded like he was freaking out, So I think his name is what do I got here? Martin Wutuki. Wutuki? Is that how you say it? Yeah, so I mean everybody else is kind of
played Hitler?
Yeah. That was that guy, yeah. The guy, he was at the cinema. He was about halfway through. Yeah, man. I just, he was overacting. For a guy that's
the whole Hitler fucking freaking out like that. No,
but I mean, but I just thought it was overkilling. Like I thought it was over. I just thought it was overdoing it. I the only other.
Yeah. See, this is. I'm with Sal. I'm with Sal on this. I think that was acceptable. Okay. No, it's
supposed to be. Hyperbolic,
but I understand what you're saying. He's supposed to be angry, but I just thought it was for me. It was just like the rest of the movie was all like, like even Christopher Waltz's parts were so like.
You imagine
just relaxing, you know what I mean? Just the way he talked, it was just all of a sudden bad out of nowhere.
Can you imagine though on set, Tarantino's like to the guy who's playing Hitler. Sorry, can you tone the Hitler down a little?
Yeah, just a tad.
Down over there.
Just a tad, please. Well, that was it from that's for all my Jewish friends out there.
There you go. Fuck that guy. Yeah, absolutely. Arv?
I'm circumcised.
It's fucking Eli Roth, man. Same as you. Like, the guy's a director. As you said, he's not an actor. And it shows, right? And I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure he picked him because, like, the movie he did before this, Grindhouse. He did the first segment called Death Proof. And in between, they have those fake trailers for those movies. And Eli Roth did one of the trailers called Thanksgiving, which is a fucking amazing fake trailer. Yeah. It's like a horror movie, a serial killer, but this guy is And then as Sal pointed out, he did Green Inferno, he did Hostel, all those horror hits, and a bunch of other stuff.
Green Inferno,
but he's not. I feel like he just cast him because he knew him. Like they were friends. They had met on the set of Grindhouse or whatever, and
it's like when Tarantino shows up as a character in his movies. You know what I mean? Like he's not the best actor. I mean, like, and
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. So, that's exactly that's how I felt about this. Like him and like with the Grindhouse, like he's friends with Robert Rodriguez, like all these directors that are like fans of these genre cinema, like type old movies and shit like that, like Grindhouse films, and exactly. Like that's why it's cool that he used him. And if he really wanted Sandler, which I did hear, which Sal mentioned in the chat, like I did hear that before. Even with the Brooklyn accent or whatever it was, like it makes sense, right? Like it makes sense. He probably just maybe put him in last minute and was kind of like, you do me a favor here or do me a solid and play this character, maybe, right? I don't know. I really don't know. He's fine.
I think if they
big guy though, like that work, like it works. And I know they made him look bigger, like in the film because they had to for like the purpose of it. But like they did make him look like a big guy. Like he was kind of jacked.
Who Eli Roth?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant Sandler. I was like,
No.
I think if they cast him and didn't give him any lines, I think that would have been better. Like he would have been more because he has that face. He has that murderous face, and his face would have said everything. Like don't as soon as he opens his mouth, he loses all credibility as even his character. I'm like, yo, just shut up, bro. Just do the Bear Jew thing and just get on with it. Like
I agree. He should have just been a menacing character and just not open his mouth. I agree. I wish Sandler did this. I'll tell you this much. I wouldn't be sitting here saying why they put Sandler in it like they did Mike Myers. I would not have been. I would be like, that's a fucking awesome that they picked Sandler because he's just someone you identify in Hollywood too. Like, back from the Jewish, like the Hanukkah song and all that. You know what I mean? Like it would be perfect to fucking put him. He's a well-known Jewish actor. And I love Adam Sandler. Like, and he's a good dramatic actor when he wants to be. Like I've always said.
And think about it. He can start swinging that bat like if he was being Happy Gilmore or something. You know what I mean? He can just start going nuts, start beating the shit out of people. No, give him a little bit of both.
So who is it? That was me. All right, Jay. Worst performance, Jay.
I didn't like Brad Pitt, man.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
I wasn't a big fan of this.
Movie we do with
like him.
Like Brad Pitt. Favorite. Every fucking other guys we've done like
I was waiting for this, man.
We've done 3 other movies with Brad Pitt, I think. Right? Like which ones did we do? We've done like a few of them. 7. We did 7. We did Fight Club. We did another one that he's in. No, he wasn't in Zodiac. I swear, there's like 3 fucking movies we did. With no matter what the performance is, Jay's always like Brad Pitt. He's my favorite. He's such a cool guy. Like I'm just like, really?
He is. I mean, he's cool, but I just
worst performance.
I mean, I didn't like it, man. I didn't like this.
You just lost all credibility. You just lost all credibility.
You know what? I didn't. I apologize.
I'm just saying, lost all credibility in my eyes right now.
I was waiting. I knew I was gonna hear this. This is like somebody
he's getting chewed out.
Everybody say the same thing. I don't know, but I'm really surprised to say that. I really.
No, I was waiting for you. I wasn't worried about Arv. I mean, Arv could chew me out. I was waiting for you, man, because I knew you were gonna lose your fucking breath.
Why? Explain.
I just didn't like his. Wow! Hold on, everybody. Niko's got upset here. No, I just didn't like it. I didn't like this. I didn't like his accent. I didn't like anything. I didn't like the way he was just playing Hulk. I didn't like the way he was playing Hulk Hogan, man. To be honest with you, he was just in a not so jack form, bro. I'm sorry. That fucking accent killed me, man. I mean, I think that was probably one of the worst accents I've heard him ever do. I'm not even joking.
Hulk Hogan?
His one-liners.
This guy was playing Diamond Dallas Page, if anything. Like,
bro, he was doing that. He was doing the basically. I don't know. I was trying to figure out who I can relate to. Like that fucking
think of his quotes, then his favorite quotes. But then you say he has
because it's easiest. They were easiest.
He delivered that quote.
It's easiest, right? Like he is the easiest to pick things up.
Sal's defending you.
Wow.
No,
he's not an amazing actor. Yeah, I agree, but he's not the worst. I think
he almost fell in my worst. And what do you call it? Overacting.
He's a fun character, and yeah, he was a little over the top purposely, though. Like, and not to the point where he's fucking on Eli Roth's level. Where
yeah,
like I don't know. Okay, that's cool though. It's your opinion. That's fair.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. No, you're just wrong.
It's a war.
I'm sorry. I don't apologize, man.
There's such a thing as wrong answers, Jay.
That's all right. Come on, we can see you all day. No, it's okay. I think you just pick whatever actor I like. It seems like every fucking movie we talk about,
man.
Every performance I like, you say is the worst performance.
Just to stir shit up, eh?
Rewind the tape, guys. I don't even think Jay fills this category out. I think he just hears what performance I like in a film, and he's like, next you're going to tell me Christoph Waltz, worst performance.
I didn't see you reading anything off a script, man. When you just picked it, he's like, I'll just hear Niko, and then I'll just look at the screen and say what Niko said.
Dude, I already had it ready. I knew what I was going to say. That's what I mean.
Go ahead. All right, go ahead, Arv.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just me, bro. I mean,
oh man,
I could have played
this.
Hey, I could have played that role, bro. Yeah, let me go kill me some Nazis. I can go do that too, man. Look,
we're on the worst performance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
JT. I just did my overacting award. No, Niko's got the overacting.
Because you guys said Eli Roth, I'm just gonna go like very minimally. I'm gonna go with Diane Kruger as Bridget von Hammersmark, and just in a specific scene.
Way to keep it me too.
It's just the scene where they're pulling the bullet out of her leg, and she loses her accent every now and then, and it sounds like an American trying to do a German accent, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's what Germans sound like when you're pulling a bullet out of their leg and they're trying to speak English. She didn't sell me on that part, but it could also have been because she was next to other great actors. Like she was next to every other great actor, like Christoph Waltz and fucking Michael Fassbender, and like it maybe in contrast, like putting them side by side wasn't the best thing, but for me, I'd have to pick her. Like I can't really think of anyone else that would give a worse performance other than Eli Roth, of course. Like that's
my answer. That's my answer.
Yeah.
I gave him worse performance. I just think he's really bad at
you fucking don't like Spock. What's wrong with you, huh? The fuck, huh? Every time I like Spock, you don't like him.
That's not Spock.
I thought you said Eli Roth. I thought you were just going to say Eli Roth. That's what
I did. Eli Roth. He's the worst. He's the worst performance. What, Eli Roth?
Yeah. Well, is that what you just said, right?
That's not Spock.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's not.
No, man. That's
no,
Zachary
Quinto. The wrong guy? Oh, yeah, Zachary. Yeah. What the fuck am I fucking... Sorry, guys, man.
I was like, why are you calling him Spock? Did you guys do Star Wars at some point? Or Star Trek?
Sorry, man. My fault, man. My bad. They look the same. In the picture, in their photos, they look the same.
Spock. That's good.
Lieutenant JT.
LT Smash.
Yeah, Lieutenant, they say in the UK. Lieutenant.
Yes.
JT. You know what? That's fair. He doesn't say anything though, really, until the end of the film. He has like no lines until the end, and he's in a few pivotal parts. Again, kind of a head scratcher for me, but like I know he's like a writer, and maybe again he had it in with these guys. Fuck The Office though. I'm not gonna stand for that. I like The Office, so get out of here.
I hated it too, man. Everyone's going on about it, but then I tried it a few years ago, and I'm on my third rewatch, man. Fair enough. You know, it's good.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. At least you didn't like it.
No, yeah, I used to hate it, but then I don't know what convinced me. I just tried it. I'm like, fuck, I got hooked for 9 seasons straight. This is my third time watching it right now. Me and my wife are watching it. We're just
it's fine. It's throw on. It's a good show to just throw on for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of cringy humor, which I love.
Yes.
Michael Scott, man.
But if you watch the UK Office, it's even more cringe. The version that what's his name did.
Ricky Gervais.
Because that's the character. That's what he said.
That's the one I liked.
It's pretty cringe. Cringe. Like, he's more like racist and kind of like
really.
Well, there was only so many episodes that they did for the UK version, so they really got to expound upon it, and more so in American Office. But in the American Office, here's the difference. Michael has a good heart, like deep down. He's just very ignorant and like, you know what I mean? This is my interpretation of him. He's just a buffoon, right? Like a lot of the times, and he says a lot of stupid shit. But like he's you think he's a person you like though. Like he's a person by the like at one point you're like, I like this character. Whereas Ricky Gervais's version of him had no redeeming qualities like whatsoever. Like he was just a cringe as fuck dude, like as a boss, in my opinion. Anyways, about that. But we're going into The Office now. I prefer the UK version. Yeah, there you go. Okay, next up. That Guy Award. Who started that worst performance? Who was that? Was that Jay? Oh yeah, of course. Go ahead, Arv.
No, I think it was. I'm not sure if it was me.
I think that was you that did worst performance.
I gotta check this out.
You have that Guy Award, Arv.
I think it was Jay. Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Just make sure I have my notes right.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't do career peak yet, right? No, we didn't. Okay. Yeah, for me, I didn't think you guys would mention it, but it's BJ Novak, man. Like
throws up for a second, Arv.
And I didn't recognize him till my fourth rewatch.
Hold on.
Good.
I think you're good now. I think it just stopped. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
It froze earlier for me too, but then it just played catch up a bit for like 30 seconds.
That's what we just went through on my end. Yeah. I don't know about the viewers, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, like it's BJ Novak, man. You guys mentioned him, and I didn't recognize him till my third or fourth rewatch because I had watched The Office before that, and then after I watched it, I'm like, what the fuck is Ryan from The Office doing as a Nazi soldier? That to me is as random as Mike Myers and fucking just Mike Myers. But it was after that I learned, oh, this guy's a writer. I don't know if he was just, again, he was one of those guys who was in the studio on the day of shooting and he just, Tarantino just grabbed him or whatever, or because he's written some good episodes for The Office. So I have no idea, but it seems a little random to me. And as you said, he has lines only at the end of the movie. They're whatever, they're not like award winning or anything. But it's like, oh, that's the guy from The Office. That's exactly what I said when I watched it. That's the guy from The Office, Ryan. Yeah. So I have to give him this award because I was surprised, man. I was like, oh shit, what? Why the fuck? Why is he in this movie? So that's my pick, man.
At this time, The Office, I think, was on the air, right? 2009 was it on the air?
It was like 4 seasons in, yeah.
And he's not really known as an actor in film, so it was interesting to see him in this. Absolutely, yeah. That's a good Guy award, actually. Really good. That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, that probably would have been my What That Guy award when I originally saw the movie. Absolutely, I did say the same thing. I'm like, that's the guy from The Office. But upon this rewatch, I know him at this point in time in his name, so I gave it to this guy here. Hold on, sorry, I just want to make sure. So I wrote down 2, but I think I went.
Is he one of the bastards?
Till Schweiger. I've seen him in other things. But Hugo Stieglitz is the guy I ultimately went with. Till Schweiger is his name, so that's who I went with for that guy. My runner-up for this one was Daniel Bruhl, though, as the guy who played Zemo in the Winter Soldier stuff, because I don't really know him. I don't really know him from anything else really other than that. And I recently watched the Winter Soldier show a little while ago, and it took me like a long time that I'm like, where the fuck have I seen this guy before? And then it dawned on me from Inglorious Basterds, right? So he's good. He's a good actor. I mean, I like him as Zemo too, but that was my runner-up. But I ultimately went with what's his name there? Hugo Stiegler.
Stiglitz.
Hugo
Stiglitz.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I had this. I had your runner-up because I knew I seen him before in a series that I watched, a TV series and something, and he's the guy from the Alienist. So, and I didn't know who it was, right? So that's where I got it from. I like I said originally when I seen fucking Mike Myers, I didn't think it was Mike Myers, but that wasn't gonna end up being how it was, right? Daniel Bruhl, he.
Oh, is that the race car driving movie, Sal? Rush?
Yeah, Rush.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard
he's in that.
That's old. That's fucking. That's the no. That's the no. I'm not thinking. Yeah, that's a race car. I'm thinking something different
or something, right? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know he was in that. I haven't seen it though, but okay.
Yeah, so I taking Daniel Bruhl. That's what I got because that's what I had said originally. I thought I thought I'd seen him because I watched The Alienist. I think that show's good. I know he's in some other stuff too, but I'm not 100% sure on everything that he's in. But yeah, he's a good actor. So I just didn't know who he was at first because he looks so young in this. You know what I mean? Yeah. He looks a lot younger. He's got that young facial look and that young actor look, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I picked. That was my That Guy award.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
That would have been my second too. Yeah.
Same. Yeah. Okay, what's up next here? Clutch performance. This is me now. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear who I'm going to pick. Brad Pitt. For me, it's Brad Pitt in this movie. I will say, and I don't want to take anybody's answer because this might be one of your answers. I think it might be Arv's. I'm not sure, but very, very close though. If I didn't have such a fun time with the character that he is in this film, Brad Pitt, that's the only reason I gave him clutch performance because I have fun with his character in this movie, in a movie that's that needs it at times. I would give it to Michael Fassbender though. He was my runner-up though, I gotta say. And I know sometimes we don't even get into runner-ups, but for all the reasons that Arv said, for his great performance in that one scene, and his the dialogue that he gave before he got taken out there. Yeah, I would say he was very, very, very close runner-up for me. And I think I found a new appreciation upon this rewatch for him in this film. Not that I didn't like him, but I've seen more things with Michael Fassbender since probably the last time that I've seen this film. And upon this rewatch, I was like, yeah, that's really good in this film. But I gotta give it to Brad Pitt ultimately. Jay.
That's fair.
For my clutch performance, I mean, every performance he did was clutch to me, and I think still is Christopher Waltz, man. I think every performance he played in it was just 100%. I think he gave it everything. So, I mean, I'm gonna stick with him still too for clutch performance. Any performance he was in from the first opening scene to the last scene on the phone. You know what I mean? Like with Brad Pitt there. So I'm gonna give him for a clutch performance for me.
I think that's the first. I think that's the first the sweep of clutch performance and performance from the show.
Yeah, I know.
I can't blame you though. I can't blame you on that one. Yeah, that's fair, man. He was that good. Like, yeah, he was that good. I understand.
You know, I guess upon the rewatch, maybe that's what made it do it for me. Maybe I didn't, like I said, because it was all subtitles and shit and that before. Maybe that's what didn't make me realize. I mean, there was a couple people that had some great performances, but dude, you can't argue with the way he did it. And like that's why I asked you if he had won an award, and like you said, he did win an award. So I mean, it's just proving to you that he's performing the way he's supposed to be. Like, you know, like I said, it came naturally to him, bro. Most of those other people look like they, you know, had to struggle a little here and there, but he was, everything just seemed like it came naturally to him. You know?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So,
Arv?
I'm going to pick, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who played Monsieur Le Petit in the opening scene.
Good pick. Yeah.
This guy, holy shit, man. Like, you know, everyone focuses on Christoph Waltz, but this guy stands.
Dennis Menochet or Denise, maybe. Yeah, that's the actor's name.
Menochet. Okay.
Possibly. But yeah,
he seemed.
Yeah.
I imagine he's probably like a popular French actor, like French, whatever. But this guy stands toe to toe with Christoph Waltz. Like, that shit is not easy. And you know, we mentioned earlier, this guy cries on cue, and he the way he delivers his dialogue, but also the way he expresses his emotions at the same time. Like, that is not easy. And it's, you know, he seems like a fairly quiet character, but he says so much. You know, I think he did a really impressive job for the very little screen time that he was in. So I got to give it to him, man. Clutch performance. Like, yeah.
Good point. He played opposite him in the best scene in the whole film. So yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. He pretty much defined clutch performance right there. He knocked it out of the fucking park. He played opposite Christoph Waltz, the best actor in the film, and arguably or hands down the best scene in the film. Yeah. No, it's good pick. Yeah. No, he is French apparently too. I just checked his, he apparently was also in the movie Hannibal Rising, which I didn't know.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Okay.
That's the fourth one, right? Yeah. I got to check it out.
Sal actually brought up a good one here too. The guy who played the Nazi, you figured out Fassbender wasn't German, was also really good. He was actually, that was.
Yeah, he was really good. His name's Hellman or something, or Heller.
That's the thing with this fucking one, man. These people's names, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce, dude. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it for you guys because you guys seem like I'm looking at just the names right now at the top of my head. Like
Angel Hellstrom.
The only one I can read is Brad Pitt.
August Deal is his name.
Yeah, he was great.
What's going on? Yeah, no worries, man. We're talking about Inglorious Basterds.
The assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. No, I'm playing.
Hey, actually, that's not a bad movie.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. Brad Pitt.
There he is again.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's like the Kevin Bacon of films that we review on this channel. Apparently, he's just in everything. I don't know if
he's just hovering around.
But he was the key grip in this movie that we talked about. Like, what?
Hey, I have a new picture of him right here on the wall.
No, it's a joke.
Oh, shit. I was like, why?
Yeah, Brad Pitt served everybody lunch on the set. Did you not know this? Little known fact, guys. Brad Pitt actually played opposite Brad Pitt in that movie where he keeps getting younger and younger.
The Curious Case of Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
That was awesome too, man.
Oh man.
No, I didn't really care for that movie, to be honest with you.
Fuck off.
All right.
What's eating Gilbert Grape was the best though.
Yes.
Brad Pitt was in it?
He was, very young. Yeah.
Very young.
Oh shit! I didn't notice him. All right, I watched it a long time ago.
He wasn't eating her though. Don't worry.
Yeah, he played opposite Leo in that. They've known each other a long time.
Oh my god! Yes, you're right. Oh my god! Yo, I watched it. I watched it when I was 6 years old. I didn't even know who actors were at that time. Like, I think my brother rented it, and yeah.
We were all young.
To be honest, I forgot that he was in that movie too until like a little while ago. It's true. I think I seen it like on Netflix or something, like just like in the queue or like, you know what I mean, on maybe our list or something. And I was like, Brad, like, or you know how sometimes they play like a little preview of it. I saw him. I was like, fucking Brad, it was in this movie. I don't remember that. I've only seen it like once, to be fair, but here we go.
We clicked on something, right?
All right, online strips without clothing. All right, let's go.
There we go.
The show's done. I'll see you boys in that lobby.
We'll be there, guys.
What is that second emoji? She's angry and got her tongue out. What the fuck?
She's crying.
There
we go. Okay. Right. Thanks for clearing that up. Love face.
Thanks for Leo killed it.
Yeah, thanks. Oh man.
All right.
You can mute them, bro. You can mute them.
Kick them. I know. They'll kick them out. They're ruining. They're ruining that for people. Not that it bothers me. I found it hilarious, but yeah, don't worry. There's enough kiss emojis in the chat, guys. All right, we blocked them. All right.
Spam.
They might come back harder than ever, though. We watch out for that. Right? Jay, go ahead, my friend. Nitpicks.
What the fuck is Brad Pitt snorting, man, in the fucking movie?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Is it?
I mean,
So I'll jump ahead. This was in my unanswerable questions, possibly unanswerable questions. I think it's coke because a lot of these guys, like there was a whole thing about, you know, with people associated with war doing coke and like smoking crystal meth and when they can nom and shit like that. I'm sure it was coke. It wasn't sniffing salts because this guy was straight up like, it wasn't like at first
he was like inhaling it.
Yeah, no, it had to be coke. Like that's probably why he was so like perked up and fucking like, you know what I mean? Like it had to be coke. That's what I think. Yeah.
Tobacco?
I think it was coke. Snuff tobacco? Okay, maybe. I don't even know that was
that's what I thought it was. Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know it was called that, but
I thought it was coke personally. But it was a nice little addition to the character, whatever it was. But I think it's a good thing for unanswerable questions. I thought it was coke personally.
Sorry, that's actually kind of it was a nitpick, but it's also one of my. But that's what I had it too as.
What the
but
fuck
I also
is snuff tobacco though. I know about there's tobacco you on, but there's tobacco you sniff too. No way, it's
something you can inhale directly. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
I want my scalps.
I thought it was coke. I like to think it's coke, right?
Well, I mean, you got to throw yourself out there. Yeah. They're doing that, or they're fucking opium or something over there. Who the fuck knows?
All right. Was that your
time opium?
Pardon? Well, I had another one here. Hold on. Where the fuck was it? No, how I didn't like my nitpick, like I said, with Brad Pitt was his fucking accent. I didn't like it, bro. I really didn't like it. I thought it was overkill for me, and it was just a nitpick.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean? And it was really the most, I mean, it was a lot of the English too. So besides Christopher Waltz, when he was speaking English, fucking, you know, you're listening to Hulk Hogan if you close your eyes, like, you know, I'm sorry, dude. That's what kept reminding me of for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I was just
reminding me of. I'm apologizing to Brad Pitt, you know. That's what
I know. That's your boy. I'm surprised because like you fucking jizz all over the guy every other time you bring him.
Well, I have a naked picture. I told you I have a naked picture of him up here.
I swear to God, every other episode that he's been on a movie like that we've reviewed, it's been across the board for Jay.
Yeah.
Jay's next fucking pick is going to be Interview with a Vampire. I think next time.
If you pause the screen right now, Brad Pitt's face is right beside JT's. He's like staring at him, like
it's right there, man.
He's trying to kiss him.
Wait.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I'm the one that's on the screen over here. You're talking about our slit in between us.
Yeah.
You just see JT's tongue go into Niko's stream and like lick his face.
Here, look. See, there he is. You can see a little.
Oh shit.
JT, I like this. JT is the Italian Brad Pitt. Yes.
Thank you.
I think that's what everybody calls him. When I first met Jay, I'm like, this guy reminds me of an Italian Brad Pitt. Grazie.
Yeah, he's the
Meet JT Black.
Buongiorno.
Dominic.
Dude, his Italian is probably just as good as mine anyway. So
Buongiorno.
Arrivederci.
Oh man. So yeah, no, I mean, there's not. I mean, I didn't really try to
JT is the Italian J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I'm telling you right now? And the other nitpick of mine, you know what the biggest nitpick of mine is going to be, right? You know,
get me photos of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's the fucking it's the fucking subtitles.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm tired of it, okay? Right. Sorry, guys. That's it, man. That's all I got to say on that one. Fuck off with these subtitles these days, man. Like, you know, I'm not deaf. I can hear it.
Whoa. Not cool.
JT Rowling.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I didn't watch it. Christine watched it, but like how they purposely left her out of this fucking new documentary or this get together of all the cast members that they did.
Yeah.
They kept like putting in footage where it was like they were like, this was from 3 years.
Like 3 years ago, yeah.
I was watching a little bit while I was reading, and I was just like, that's hilarious. Anyways. Arv, any nitpicks for this film?
I think for me, like it kind of plays into the first time I watched it. Why it didn't catch on to me as much is because of the variety of the scenes. Like it's very dialogue heavy, and it plays into what JT's saying too. Like it's fair. You don't notice a lot of the cinematography because you're reading a lot. Yeah. And for me, like I'm saying that like I read fast because I love to read books and shit, but I like even then someone who can't read as fast or you know like they're focusing on the dialogue or you know looking at the actors, they won't notice. It shouldn't take. I always argue it shouldn't take a second rewatch to notice other stuff. Like to see everything, especially when it's a movie. It's a visual medium.
Yeah.
So for me, I wish they had interspersed a lot of the scenes, like the acts, with at least. It doesn't even have to be action, like gunfire, like anything else where they talk. Either they talk English or they, they have a dialogue free scene. Like it's just people acting and doing everything through their actions instead of through their words. For me, it's minor. Like it's still a great movie regardless, but if it was up to me, I'd pace it a little differently. That's all.
Now, was this originally, because I know I said it earlier, but I actually don't know for a fact. I was looking at the IMDb. I want to say like I don't. Yeah, well said though. Well put. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. But I think that like at least the flaw, I feel like that was the case in Hateful Eight because it was set up like that because that was written as a screenplay originally. Like I think some of these things when you translate it, like if it was written for a screenplay or like the stage, like it was written like it's delivered a little bit differently when it's not intentional to be like a cinematic experience in that sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's more about the scenes, setting the stage for two characters to exchange dialogue as they did in many of the acts, the way the acts play out in the film. But to your point, I think that's the only, no, I agree with what you're saying, but I think that's the only time that it doesn't translate well is when he writes like some of these things. Cause that was again, a thing that I really disliked about the Hateful Eight, and then I heard that he originally had wrote that as a play or something like that, and
that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think that makes a little bit like it doesn't translate well to film always for like a cinematic experience, like for like you know what I mean, like you said, like an action flick, and going into the movie expecting more of a fast-moving driven story and getting a fucking bunch of scenes of people just talking, and then the climax at the end, it kind of feels like a little disjointed. Absolutely, yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. It's a little all over the place, right? Yeah,
it's like character focused, yeah. And if it's meant to be a stage play, that makes perfect sense because that's exactly if they meant to make a play out of it, like a Broadway play, it would translate seamlessly. But the other way around, it's not always the best.
Yeah. No, I agreed. That's well put. The only thing I wrote was a flaw I felt in the film was there's a scene. Now, I mean, I don't know if he actually knew. I don't think he knew it was them the whole time. But the Nazi, the major or whatever, the guy that was in the bar when he went to join their party, that kind of sussed them out and found out that they were fakes. how he didn't know that guy was Hugo Stieglitz or whatever, I'm not sure, because I would think that would be a well-known kind of dude, even by appearance, or like, and I know that this is back then when they maybe didn't have pictures of these fucking guys all over the place, or like a record of them, and it's just a lot of rumors.
They didn't have the
Right.
internet.
That's what I mean. But I still think, for whatever reason, that guy's reputation would I would think, I don't know, for me it just felt off that somehow that guy didn't know, because you know what I mean, like, not that the other dude knew either, but when he was referenced, at least he's like, yeah, everybody knows of Hugo Stieglitz. I just thought maybe like these guys would know or have seen this guy or know what he looks like. I don't know, I felt like he should have known that they were fake faster than he kind of did. Like, I like the way it kind of led up to that point of them, even with that little finger thing, which I didn't actually know was a thing. And I don't know why this means free in German, but it's interesting to say the least. But I do like the way that it was a good reveal. Just, I felt that it should have been more. He should have, no worries. He should have figured it out a lot sooner than he did. Right. So I haven't seen Fury. I've heard it's really good. Peter, actually, when I was chatting with him today, when we were talking about doing this film, he had said you should watch Fury. Brad Pitt's in that, and it's a way better war film. But again, I think it was more from a historical aspect of like not actually making up a whole bunch of stuff. I think he was more. He's more pissed. Yeah, I think he is more pissed about that, right? Yeah, exactly. It's a more traditional war film. Bastards is a Tarantino movie. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to say to me. So I've heard it's good though. I think Shia LaBeouf is in that movie too, if I'm not mistaken.
Fury? Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know he's in it.
Yeah, and that was one of the. I think that came out around the time when he was like on the House with Hollywood. You know, like for a while there, he was kind of like, because he was just getting drunk and he went to rehab and everything like that. I think that came out around the period where a lot of people weren't he wasn't working all that much. And when that movie came out, I heard a lot of really good things about his performance in that film as well. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. There you go. There he is. Yeah.
He was good.
All right.
Okay.
Jay, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So what else? What do we got here? Nitpicks. I think that's it then for nitpicks. Getting to the big categories here, guys. Who started nitpicks? I think it was Jay. Arv, anything about what's aged the best?
Oh man, like it's funny because you just kind of mentioned it in the chat. I think it was Sal. For me, it's the scene construction, like how Tarantino put the scenes together. So, you know, everything from the editor putting the scenes together to the cinematographer, the director of photography. I think just because of its cinematography, it stands out as a non-traditional war film. And it kind of doesn't saturate itself in that genre. Like you were saying, like Fury, like I know Fury exists. I've heard it's good, but it's one of the more forgettable ones. Like I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. I don't hear a lot of people talking about The Thin Red Line, which I know is a great movie, but it came out when Saving Private Ryan came out, and you know that overshadowed that. Like Tears of the Sun, Enemy at the Gates. Like I love all these war movies, but because of the nature of its story and the scene construction and you know like how they tell the story, I think that aged the best. Like I think it's going to stand the test of time because of that. So I would give it to specifically, actually, I'd say the cinematography. I'd give it to that. So that and the dialogue and everything. Like it's a very unique film.
Yeah. No, agreed. I'd piggyback off of what you said there. I'd say same thing, cinematography and like the dialogue and all that, and you know, being unique. Kind of like it aged well in the sense that I think this was the start of Tarantino doing a lot of revisionist history type shit and having fun with it, whereas he continued that trend moving forward in a couple of his other films.
His next 3 movies, I think. Yeah.
Right. So I think that has aged well. Maybe then it hasn't aged well in that sense. I think it's aged well because it was the first time you kind of seen him doing that kind of thing, but then it hasn't aged so well in the sense that like now we've seen it like a whole bunch of times. But I think I will keep it in that category for it's aged well because like I know for a fact, just knowing his filmography, like that was the first time. And the other one I put down here, I really didn't put down too much for the aged worst and best. I put Killing Nazis.
That always ages well.
We can all get on board for a movie Killing Nazis, right? I mean, come on.
Oh fuck yeah! Like,
and I thought that was going to be wrong to say,
no,
but
it's not. I mean, it's not saying
yeah.
about the people now.
No. I thought about it.
It's a winning formula, man.
Yeah, killing Nazis is always age best, eh?
I don't think that's
Captain America. That's
I mean, you got video games, you got all kinds of shit like that.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, Captain America, fucking.
Great example. Great example. Is that your answer, Jay?
Well, no, I did like the cinematography too, but yeah, I do in most of Quentin Tarantino's films. Anyways, I mean, he's really intricate when it comes to things. So, I mean, if you don't pay attention to it, like I said, I probably should watch it again and maybe just not pay attention to anything and just kind of watch it on mute. You can see what happens, right? Like, without having to pay attention to any of the subtitles or anything like that, and just see what the fuck, because it is everything. There's what is it, 5 different chapters, and each chapter is something just a little bit different, and each part of that scene they go back, and I mean, if you were to go back in time too, I'm pretty sure they got everything just about down pat, right? Except for the Inglorious Basterds part, but yeah, other than that, they probably got just the way they dressed, everything that they, how they all rolled, but even with the old cars and stuff like that too, man. I love how when they find that stuff, it's always fun to watch that later on in later years, like now, or well, this is now what, 10, how many years old now? I forget. 2012,
13? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, even after that much time, just to see stuff like that. I mean, you still got movies nowadays that come out like that. See you, Neeks. You still got movies nowadays that come out like that, and yeah. So who knows? I always think Quentin Tarantino movies are, honestly, if I was to say it, it's cinematography, and I go along the same lines as you. And it's kind of funny that we did a kind of a sweep there, but I couldn't really think and pick out anything that actually aged well. I mean, fuck. I don't know if any of their acting had changed, if any of, I mean, like I said, everything on there is factional. It's not, it's non-fiction, right? I mean, it's not really all real. I mean, there's some real aspects to it. So I feel like it just, it was what it was, right? I mean, I couldn't pick out anything that aged even better than that. So that's kind of where I went with it too as well, right? I mean, he knows how to pick everything from the clothing to the colors to the, like you said. I mean, I noticed the red color. He's always got that big red, fascination with the whole red and the color scheme. How you were saying, what was it called again? When
it was like, I noticed it shifts a lot from white to red. Like her dress
and all that cinema.
Dress and the cinema. It's all red. Like it's all. There's a shift in tone because of the colors. Like they talk about.
It's like,
just the whole vengeance plot, the whole massacre, like they kind of foreshadow it with the colors too, right? The cream, the milk, the bed sheets, they're all white, and then they shift to all the others, like her dress, the cinema, all that. So there's probably more things I'm missing, but that's just what I noticed.
Yeah, it's almost like it shifts from good to evil sort of thing with those color shifts, right? Like, because something bad was going to happen when the dress came on, when that red dress was on, and the cinema, something bad was going to happen there. But yeah, in the beginning, it seemed to be so innocent and so peaceful, and you know what I mean, with the white and that sort of sense that you're saying. So I can see where they go along and they play with that, right? But yeah. So I agree with with the both you guys, man, with the cinematography, because I mean, like I said, what else is there that you can really pick out, right?
I think the only other war movie that stands out. I hope he comes back, man. But yeah, the only other movie that stands out to me in terms of like in this genre anyway is Saving Private Ryan, probably the closest thing. If you're talking about war movies, that and this are probably my two. Yeah, I want to say my two favorite war movies, and they have distinct styles, right? So I think that's why they're like at the top tier of like a war movie. So.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's it. So that's why I picked it.
I've never watched any. I'm not really into the war movies. I don't know if it was a big thing for me. It's just some of this kind of older stuff, like this style kind of thing, is kind of cool. It kind of does remind me of a Western and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, in that sense, it's kind of cool. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big war movie fan. I mean, you know, it's just
That's
something
fair.
that you know. I like these guys. They've been trying to get me to play friggin' Vanguard and all that other fun stuff.
Oh
and
man,
then,
yeah. Vanguard sucks, man. It's
it's
all right. It's all right.
Hey, his internet crapped out, so it's all good. He said he's just rebooting, but yeah, no, because I don't have any of the controls on my side. I'm not like logged in on that side, so
I'm surprised it stayed on stream. I guess it just jumped over to you.
No, it's because the link is still open, right? It hasn't closed because we haven't really actually exited the link or turned it off. Like, I mean, if we both were to leave right now, it'd probably just be a blank screen on YouTube, so it'd be a little different. But I think what would be the next would be what age is the worst. So unfortunately, guys, I can't change that. I can't change any of the controls. I don't have that on my side today. That's why I've been kind of weird with the comments. I've been trying to read them and put them up at the same time, but I can't put them up on, you know, because I don't have the controls. Nico's got them on his side this time, right? So, but yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, I just saw the comments. Nico's the Italian Patrick Swayze because he's Ghost right now.
yeah. Band of Brothers was awesome.
Yeah, Band of Brothers was great, man.
It was Dunkirk was really good. So yeah, I mean, I never got to watch any of those ones, right? I wasn't really a big fan. Like I said, of the war movies. Like I said, I had this whole conversation with Lewis actually on the last episode of Late Night Chat on Sunday. That you know, I wasn't into so much history stuff. I mean, I can butt heads with a lot of people because they might wonder why I'm not into all the war stuff, because I'm a lover, not a fighter, bro. I really couldn't care less about
war. That's totally fine, man. That's totally fine.
In that sense, like I've always told people, I don't even want to fucking hold a gun, bro. I've never in my head thought of a reason where I would ever put myself in that situation. So
yeah, Nico's back.
Nico's back.
Internet crap.
No worries.
Apologies.
Good.
I got my rant in there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The
war movie rants.
We always appreciate you rant around here.
But I think what they're mentioning in the comments, if you're gonna, I know you don't watch them, but if you're gonna check two of them out, like at least watch Band of Brothers and Pacific. Those two are really good.
Brothers and Pacific. Yeah,
they're HBO shows.
Yeah, I actually own both of these films on Blu-ray, and I haven't watched them. Shame on me. Peter keeps fucking telling me. I know every day this fucking guy's like, "Have you watched these yet?" And I own them, and I bought them for that reason. I never got around to it. Even at the start of the pandemic, I was like, "Oh, I'm finally gonna watch these shows. I have all this time." Never fucking watched them. So that's definitely something I gotta check out. I've heard those two are good. So yeah. No, Dunkirk was okay. I mean, I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. But
yeah, same. I thought it was okay.
It was okay, yeah.
Good. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I get into arguments with these guys. They're always, like I said, wanting to play war games and stuff like that. I just never feel like it. And I never felt like, I don't know. I'm more of a sci-fi or a drama thriller sort of guy. You know,
same.
Not even a comedic, to be honest with you. Like I'm not even into comedy as much anymore as you would think. So, but yeah. So, what do we got? Whose turn?
What's age the worst? Yeah, I only put down one thing: Weinstein Company.
Oh yeah, fucking
not to have to go there.
Miramax.
They were so synonymous with Tarantino's name. Like that's in terms of his career. Like getting him his first shot, like really, like they were such, like, you know, when you think of like the early kind of movies that they did, two people that had huge relationships with them is Tarantino and Kevin Smith, and they kind of they greenlit a lot of their fucking films in those early days and like small budgets and everything else just to get the more auteur directors at that time kind of to put out these films, right? I mean, Clerks or Reservoir Dogs, whatever, right? So like I think it was a big deal when that, you know, that whole thing went down, to say, like, looking at that now he's kind of had to try to distance himself a little bit in that sense from that whole situation, right? But but yes, absolutely Nazis. That's the obvious.
He stole one of mine, man. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, I think it's killing them has aged well, but Nazis, well, clearly.
Is that your pick for every category? Nazis? Worst performance, Nazis.
Yeah. So, you know. the Weinsteins, they were Jewish, so I'm sure they loved this film for that reason too, right? But I was going to say,
True.
okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say Nazis. I was gonna say a couple things. Nazis.
There we go.
Oh.
Hey, I'll check it out. Vom Dadong. All right. Kid, how do you say that name?
Well, not maybe Nazis and films based on sort of loosely based on Nazi history and stuff like that. I mean, really, we should just forget. I know it's happened, and I always just think, you know what, guys, I don't think we're gonna find too many Nazis nowadays. That swastika or whatever that thing is called. That doesn't age well either, right? So, I mean, really, other than that, I can't think of anything that's aged. Like I said, I can't say what do you call it? Reading the words. Sorry, reading the words, because that's
subtitles.
Subtitles have been around forever, right?
Yeah, reading has been around for a long time. The English language. So I don't know. I know in your lifestyle, reading has not aged well.
How many times did you fail kindergarten, man?
I watched Reading Rainbow. I just told. Yeah, doesn't that count?
No.
Of course.
The more you know.
Your boy from Star Trek was on that. Of course you watched it.
That's it, bro.
Geordie LaForge.
That's it. You didn't have the fucking LaForge. You didn't have the glasses on that time.
Now this I co-sign. If they ever make a Weinstein movie, I vote JT to play Harvey. I think that's a good fit. All you gotta do is play his excerpt, his audio from "It's All for the Ladies" from like the other episode that he said it. That's really like when he did that. I was like, yeah, this guy's got it down, 100%.
I was talking SMR to Lewis too. Remember whatever that was? That stuff's called.
This fucking guy. Late Night Espanol coming soon. Don't worry, it's coming soon.
It's coming soon.
Arv, have you heard about our new show, Late Night Espanol? It's
I'm assuming Lewis has something to do with that.
Listen, it was him. Him and Goat. Arv, did you have anything for this category?
Yeah, for me, it's a personal pick. The trailer, man. I wish I had found the movie sooner. I wish it hadn't marketed itself to me as this like action war movie, but I like in retrospect, I only watched it because of word of mouth, but the trailer, I wish it was a little more
seems hokey.
Quiet. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know,
you can tell by what they're putting in the trailer, right? They don't focus on the important thing in the movie, which is the conversations. Like it's just boom, 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 like people shooting guns and shit. And yeah, it's I don't know, not for me.
That's what I mean. They overkilled it on that, yeah.
Yeah.
JT is the Persian Harvey. That should be Persian. It's all for the ladies. All right, don't make me put up the J2 #J2, guys. Is that it though, Arv? Yeah, the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to speed everybody up, but yeah, we just in terms of time, we got a few big categories left here. Unanswerable questions. I think this is what is that? Jay, or is it me who started this one? I don't know. I think it's Arv. I think it's you.
Is it me? Okay. For me, I think I mentioned this earlier, but a couple of things for me. Did Hans Landa recognize Shoshana in the restaurant? They didn't really give you a definitive answer. And, it could be argued both ways. Like, my friend had me believing that, oh, shit, yeah, maybe he did. And, because of his plan, he let everything happen. And then the other thing, and yeah, we went into that earlier, but the other thing was the significance of the milk. As you mentioned, like Tarantino's very, very particular about what he does on set and how he stages and blocks the scenes and, everything the characters do. So him asking for the milk, was it just to create the illusion that Monsieur Le Petit is in control of the interrogation, or was there something symbolic or, something because he orders 2 glasses of milk. He asked him for 2. And I'm like, they come at really weird times. I can't really decode this. So why the fuck is it like, and he drinks the full glass the first time. And then before he leaves, he's like, can I have another glass of your delicious milk? And I'm like, why the fuck? Why would you want to put that in there? So, yeah, for me, I don't know, it's unanswerable. Like, unless I haven't seen any videos on YouTube or anything about it, but I really don't know. I can't answer it.
I mean, I'm sure he would like to say that he knows, or he possibly does know, because like I see him, seems that like whenever I see Tarantino do more and more interviews and shit and podcasts these days, he keeps adding stuff to his mythos. I find like I don't even know if half the shit that he's saying is true anymore, because of course everyone brings up that what was in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, right? Like shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, so like I feel that he's always adding to like the idea that like of all these things, right? Like even in his own like you know what I mean? Like
he's doing it retroactively.
Yeah, I think so. So I don't know. Like I'm sure if somebody asked him if he was gonna get into it or not. That's the thing. Like I can appreciate a director that can do a deep dive on their own work and their ideas behind things, but there's something to say for the directors, the people that also keep stuff left you know what I mean? Like, unanswered. Because I do like that idea. Like, I like that the idea of leave it up to the interpretation up to the viewer, right? I do appreciate that. Yeah. So, no, that's a good one though. I like that. I honestly didn't take, other than the fact that he brought up the milk, I never gave that much significance to that scene. But the more and more you talked about it, the thing that you said, the kosher thing, that's I look at that whole scene a whole different way now. So yeah, thank you for that. That is a friend sent that to you. That's interesting. Yeah. What did I see here? I basically said, the Brad Pitt, what was he sniffing? And what the fuck was Mike Myers and BJ Novak doing in this movie? That's literally what it was. They just probably unanswerable. Unanswerable. Oh, and then I also said, was it a good choice to have the Hans Landa survive this ordeal?
I
don't know.
How they got Nazi hunters.
I think because they put the swastika on his head, it's like the ultimate punishment, like they didn't just one-off kill him. It's just they made him suffer like everybody else did, like how he made other people suffer. But I
did like the way it ended, but whether or not like he should have been the one to get away, I don't know. But he was the smartest one, right? So I guess in a way it makes sense, right? All right, Go. Thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah, no worries. And remember, it's all
updated.
Oh, God, I hate that. I hate that that's catching on.
All for the ladies. You want to hear it? It's all for the ladies.
The porn parody of this movie where Landa asked the farmer for a glass of delicious milk. Oh, my God. Come on, Sal. You're better than this.
Send me the link. I'll check it out.
Of course.
Send me the link. I'll check it out.
You
I'll
have tits hiding under your floor, don't you?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Another unanswerable question. Another unanswerable question. I don't know if you guys noticed. I just don't know what, because the two topics we have left, I don't know where to bring it up. But did you notice the other voice cameo in this movie?
Sam Jackson was one.
At the end there.
No, I was trying to, when he calls the guy on the phone, I was trying to figure that out. Did you look this up?
Let's see.
Oh, no, I knew right away. I know this guy's voice.
What? So I swear I know the voice. I heard it. I was like, who the fuck is that? And I was going to look it up and I forgot. So tell me.
It's another Tarantino mainstay, the Wolf in Pulp Fiction.
Exactly. I knew that's what I was going to.
It's Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought that was him, but I wasn't sure. I was just like, smart.
He has a distinct voice. Like because I love Dusk Till Dawn. I love I love a lot of movies.
Hey, did you watch Lansky?
Lansky? What's that?
A movie of his.
Meyer Lansky. It's about the Meyer Lansky story. He did it last year. Yeah. It's just called Lansky, dude. He was an actor and he was in that one. It was about how he. You just because he brought up Harvey Keitel, I figured because I watched it last year. It was on one of my. I think it might have been my number one.
It was on your top 5 movies. It was in the list of the year-end media review
movies that I watched. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel? Yeah. That's a fucking crazy.
I've only seen the first one, I think.
Is there a second one? No.
Yeah, there. Port of New Orleans or something. The second one's called. I think we got it at Blockbuster when I was working there back in like 2010.
survive that fucking first?
No. It's the sequel. I swear it's Nicolas Cage on the cover of the sequel. I could be wrong, but just look it up if you can. Yeah, there's definitely a sequel.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, he's right. Wow.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
I've never fucking heard of that. That's news to me. But I only watched Bad Lieutenant. I only discovered it myself like a couple of years ago. I mean, I had known about it, but I've never actually seen it. Yeah, it is fucking awesome. Yeah, it is a good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. The first one. I haven't seen the second.
Yeah, me neither. But Nick Cage is a wild card. Honestly, sometimes he gives a good performance. Sometimes he's like a batshit fucking crazy performance. That's
why I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know which Nick Cage I'm getting.
I'm intrigued. You never do. Right? That's the thing with Nick Cage. All right, here we go. Career peak.
Not the bees. They're in my face.
The sequel is directed by Werner Herzog. What? And has nothing to do with the first one. It's a sequel by name only. It is equally as great as a first. Really? And Nick Cage is a star. Wow. Now I'm intrigued. I'm gonna have to check this out.
It's great as the first. Yeah. Okay.
That's interesting. Right. Okay.
Somebody's got a lot of time to watch movies.
Hey, listen, he's in the Bing, right? He has lots of time. That's all they do.
I remember when we got the DVDs for this, we got the stock of DVDs to put on the shelf at Blockbuster, and nobody rented it. Like, it was always there. There was every copy. And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck. And then my buddy who's working with me, my other manager, he's like, oh, bro, you haven't seen Bad Lieutenant? It's a really good movie. Harvey Keitel. And I'm like, Harvey Keitel? Okay, all right. And then I watched it, and I'm like, shit, this is a good movie. And then he's like, I don't know about the sequel. It has Nick Cage. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna touch that.
I'm out. Craps on Nick Cage, man. I don't mind him. I used to like him in certain movies, man.
No, but he's not bad. He's not bad.
That's the thing about Nick Cage. Like, he really I could give you a pretty solid top 10 films of Nick Cage that I think I'll stand by those films, but then he has like fucking 50 other films that are straight to DVD nowadays. Or you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Apparently, there was a movie that came out last year called Pig. Apparently, he's really good in that.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I heard. I was going to watch it.
That was on a lot of best of lists somehow. Every once in a while, he squeaks one out. See, this is what I'm trying to say.
Like a pig.
Yeah. Port of New Orleans. Okay, I'm going to have to check it out.
Port of New Orleans.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. Thanks, guys. That's great.
Really?
I enjoy doing this.
What was that porno one though? That movie porno one that you wanted me to watch? I can't remember now. No, he wanted me to watch something good. Man. He actually had a
mommy knockers.
I think Nico knows, but I think Nico might have mentioned it to me one time.
All right, I'm trying to discuss the career peak now. Forget your fucking porn fantasy, right? Career peak. I mean, sadly and not sadly, I mean, this one caught me off guard, to be honest with you. I wasn't thinking this going into it, but when I really examined it, I have to say Tarantino. I have to. Not to say that I would say this or Django directly after this, like, is like the peak of, like, I think what we've, like, all of Tarantino, what he's good at, the peak of his power, like, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of his success and skills as a director. Past that, I didn't like.
That's a good pick.
Past that, I would say, like, you know what I mean? Like I said, I've talked about Hateful Eight a lot this episode. It's ranks low on my list. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think, has gotten better upon each rewatch that I've had of it since this. But watching it in theaters, it was definitely like your experience with me in Inglorious Basterds. It wasn't like it was a head scratch. Yeah, no, I'm just like I didn't really feel it all so much the first time around I saw it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I gotta say, and this, and oh, sorry. Okay, I'm not even gonna bring it up because this was my runner-up. It's in the chat. I'm not gonna bring it up because one of you guys might have it. But I 100% agree with what Sal mentioned here in the chat as my runner-up for this category. But I realistically, Tarantino is what he said. Go ahead then.
Yeah, mine was. I was gonna say, as much as I told you, as a crazy performance he did put on for this fucking movie, and how I picked him as my. Yeah, I think it was a career peak for him. I don't think he did anything crazy after that. Christopher Waltz, man. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I was trying to stress earlier in the episode. Had some other
those
good
movies might be good.
Here's the thing.
I just never watched it.
I've seen a lot of the other movies he's done after this. He should have been one of the best fucking Bond villains ever, but he was in the worst fucking Bond film out of that string of Spectre was the worst one. No, Spectre was the worst one out of those 5 films.
Yeah.
was so
Quantum
I was
bad.
about to say, Quantum Solace, arguably the second one, is the only other one you can say was the worst one compared to that. But I think Christoph Waltz unfortunately had to be Inspector. I think it was unfortunate for him he wasn't in one of the earlier films, really, like, because I think when I think of Christoph Waltz, I'm like, that should be a fucking A+ fucking Bond villain. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, yes. As soon as he casted him, I was like, yes, Bond villain, Christoph Waltz, I'm in. But he was in such a convoluted ass fucking story in that film. Like, it wasn't even that his performance was bad. It's just the movie wasn't that good at Spectre.
Yeah,
that was a low point for the series. And what else was,
that's where I seen him too, right? No time to whatever that's where I seen him in too, in the Bond movie.
He was good in that. He was good in that. But he wasn't in it all.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in like a tiny bit.
I don't remember seeing him in other things either. Like, to be honest with you, in my head that I can picture of.
Called that's a Tim Burton film, I think, that directed it. Big Eyes, I think it's called, or something like that. That he's in that. He's good in that.
Big Eyes.
He's in a couple of other things. I think it's called Big Eyes or something. Hold on, Big Eyes. Tim, go ahead. You guys keep talking, but yeah. So
I have it right here, Christoph Waltz. If you want to see him, because I wanted to see what else he did, and I'm thinking of stuff, right?
Yeah, it's about it's directed by Tim Burton. It was about that painter.
Oh yes, forgot about that movie.
Flowers that look like vaginas.
Oh, he's apparently supposed to be the Fox's voice in the new Pinocchio coming out, bro.
What? Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio?
I don't know, man. He's got
artist Walter.
He's got a few of them.
O'Keefe. Isn't that her name? The painter, what the fuck's her? Margaret.
Georgia.
Georgia. Is it Georgia? Yeah.
Georgia
anyway, I believe that's the movie about that. And Amy Adams is in it. Tim Burton directed it. He's pretty good in that, but that's an odd movie. But anyways, I've seen him in other good things. Like, he's good in other things, but I would agree with Jay, because that was my runner-up, because for American audiences, I think he peaked with this fucking film. Like, he was so good in this movie. I don't think he's ever reached this level of greatness again, which is what I mentioned earlier in the episode, right? So
yeah, that's fair. Those are both great picks, man. Shit.
What'd you put?
There's I don't even know if you guys don't know who this is. There was a show in the 90s called Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah. That's Judd Apatow was involved in that show, and a lot of Seth Rogen and fucking so many of these guys early on in their career.
Yeah. So you've seen it, right?
I watched the whole show. Yeah, I watched the whole. Yeah.
Do you remember the one of the main characters? There's two kids. One of the kids grew up to write these new Spider-Man movies. The stiff, like, normal looking kid. And then there was another kid, short, curly hair. His sister, I think. Oh no, the one kid had the sister, Linda Cardellini.
She's
played
awesome.
Velma and Scooby Doo, right?
Yeah.
The other kid, his friend, is in this movie as one of the Inglorious Bastards.
Yes, the really short guy you're talking about. Yes.
He shoots the Nazis. He's trying to run away. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And for me, I haven't seen him in anything since. So I think I only know him from Freaks and Geeks when he was a kid, and then I know him now when he's grown up, and I haven't seen him in 12 years. Like, I don't know what he's done, but I forget how I found that out, but I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think he's gotten any roles, because this seems to be his highlight. Like, this seems to be where everyone knows him from. But for me, like I'd pick him as career peak, man. I don't see him getting any bigger roles.
That's a good answer too, because I almost thought of that guy as that guy, but I ultimately went with somebody else, because I recognized it, but I couldn't even remember what I seen him in. So thank you for clearing that up, because I seen him and I was like, I've seen that fucking kid in something, and it may have been other things too, but you're right. I think it was from Freaks and Geeks that I probably best know him from. Then, if that's the case, I
think so.
Yeah,
that's all my questions.
Fun fact about Nick Cage: he let Johnny Depp sleep on his couch while Johnny Depp was pursuing his music career and first moved to Hollywood. He told him to check out 21 Jump Street audition. If it weren't for Nick Cage, we wouldn't know who Johnny Depp is. That's cool and all, but
really?
I'm also of I also feel that Johnny Depp is overrated, to be honest with you. I like Johnny Depp in a lot of films, don't get me wrong, but I think for me, I don't know. I think he's kind of lost it years ago, quite honestly. Like, now he just plays
he's still a pirate.
Yeah, well, I was going to say now he just plays Captain Jack
It's the same same role. Yeah, same role over and over.
He's got my brother's mustache going.
I'm the Jamaican Georgia O'Keefe. There you go. He also thinks Nick Cage. There you go. There's actually a joke
about, in a sense.
Yeah, he's eccentric. That's for sure. He's
getting my money for nothing.
Well, there's a joke on Community, the show Community, actually about Nick Cage. That basically points this. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, but that points this fact out about there's crazy Nick Cage and fucking like there's different stages of Nick essentially where he just like if we did Nick Cage movies more on this channel, he'd probably get Overacting Award every fucking time.
Oh, like any movies in.
Yeah. Okay, so is that it then for Career Peak, everybody? Yeah. Okay, and here we go. The big category of the night. Big category. We'll give it over to Arv. Why don't you end? Arv, go ahead. Floor is yours.
I think so. Who won the movie is what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say Shoshana, man. Simply because it wasn't like she gave the most to achieve the most. She literally sacrificed herself, right? And I think she had a complete circle in terms of character arc. She got her revenge. She avenged her family. But I also think that if it weren't for her, the Bastards would be fucked. Like they wouldn't have completed their mission. The Third Reich wouldn't have fallen. And yeah, like as we mentioned a lot in this episode, they took a lot of liberties with historical accuracy and all that. But I think the way, this little character who's overshadowed by these other great actors and storylines, she did the most with something so simple. And I'd have to say she won the movie. I can't think of another character that that made such a big impact.
Yeah.
So I got to give it to her.
Good pick. Yeah, good pick. No, that's actually a really great pick because I was thinking of which, for this category, you can think of the character itself, like their story, the character that they're playing in the movie, in that literal sense. Sometimes, I'll usually go with the actor though, like that really, or director or whoever, like from an acting standpoint, like, or a directing standpoint who won the movie in that sense as well.
True.
But I like where you went with it. So I'm going to actually add on to that. I'm going to say Christoph Waltz in terms of being introduced to the American audience with this film, winning the award. I couldn't think of anybody else to give it to, but I'm also going to say he won the movie from the story of his character in the sense that he actually outsmarted everybody throughout the whole film. Despite getting the swastika cut on his head at the end of the film and kind of fucked him over. He did basically get what he wanted. Otherwise, everything else worked out for him. He outsmarted everybody. He survived the war. So in a way, I'm going to say that he won as the character in his film, despite that whole swastika business at the end, which really sucked to have to live your life like that, but he deserved it because really, let's not feel sorry for this fucking guy. He was a Nazi, right? But for Christoph Waltz, the actor, I got to say, hands down, because he won the award and it was the introduction to American audiences, and he's been working ever since. So I got to give it to him, hands down, Christoph Waltz.
Nice.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right. What's funny? Both runners up. One was I was actually thinking Shoshana too because she did get. I'm thinking both your characters, so I'm gonna have to steal a little bit of both and say the same thing. I might have not said it as nice as you. I might have said it. She got her fucking revenge on the Nazis, right? Like that's what I would have said it in that way. She got what she fucking started off as. But then I also thought as a runner-up too, if it was Christopher Waltz, but I've also been picking him for a lot of things this one. And the reason why is because like Niko said, he got what he wanted too in the end, right? And he got to leave and he got to go be a fuck American or whatever the fuck they're trying to say he was or whatever he got away with, right? So I mean, to be honest with you, both those were great, and like I said, they were on my list. I can't think of anybody else. I was gonna just say Brad Pitt to piss Niko off right now. But then you would want a whole explanation on why and this and that. But, yeah, it would have been like a cartoon moment. Yeah,
you shut this guy's internet down, man. He broke his router.
No, but it's serious. Both characters there because they both got what both of their storylines were fulfilled the way they wanted them to be fulfilled. and that's the thing. And I think that both of those characters, I mean, I gotta take a bit of both and say they both won the movie. It's hard to decide who, because she, like you said, with her little bit, I mean, she had a lot to do with the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a little part. She had a lot to do. I mean, yeah, it jumped ahead to when she was older, but yeah, she, from there on, she was able to get the Germans in one place, and it just helped out everybody. And then she got what she wanted in the end, is them to die, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, it happens, but then like I said, with Christoph Waltz, I keep saying Christoph Waltz. We're here in America, that's why. I mean, we're here in North America. Sorry, I'm getting it right. Sorry, guys.
Arv is the Swedish Tom Holland. Some of these don't even make any sense. That's something so funny.
Swedish Tom Holland.
Yeah. So.
And I'm the Chinese little Kim. There we go.
It's fun when you got a fucking fake name, eh?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Wait to break those race barriers there. So.
Very progressive.
Yeah.
Very progressive. I'm Swedish, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well put though, Jay. Anything else you want to add to that?
Right. No, I mean, really, like I said, I was gonna go there and try to get you stirred up with the whole Brad Pitt thing, but no, I just didn't want to, because that wasn't really what I was my answer. But you guys had taken both, so I thought, fuck, let me see if I could, word this in a way that I think, because I had it as a runner-up too, right? So yeah, it's hard. Like I said, I mean, the other characters, I don't know. I mean, they did some good parts, but I don't think overall they won the movie and they got what they.
A lot of them died.
From the movie.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah, majority of them
died, right? I mean, you can look at it. You can
You know who won the movie? Those guys who lost their balls, man.
There you go.
Those are the guys who won the movie.
The ultimate sacrifice. Yep.
Exactly.
He won. All right.
The testicles won.
I was Skelter in the filming of that movie.
That's a big ask, man. Yeah, you never know. You never know. Was Brad Pitt nominated for the movie? I don't think so.
I don't think. Yeah,
I don't think so, though. No.
Awesome.
I think I was scalped before, bro. What do you think?
They did a bad job, bro.
He did not. No, Brad Pitt survived. I mean, you can make an argument for him having won the movie, like they said.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
But he didn't know what he ultimately didn't know. Like, I mean, the other ones all knew. I mean, they what they were going in there to do. He was more shocked with
They didn't even know the theater was going to burn down.
Yeah, that was
no
just happened to be at the same time. Yeah, it just happened. All happened at the same time.
So I gotta ask then that we should end it on this note. In other comments, I don't know if you guys have anything else to add to this, but if anything, we should at least I would like to try to rank the Tarantino films, in my opinion. Now, so these rankings change a lot, as Arv mentioned at the start of the episode. He said this is his favorite Tarantino film. I'm gonna say it's in my top 3. I'm probably gonna go with Jackie Brown is my number 1. Here's the thing. My top 3 flips around.
I'm so surprised about that.
I love Jackie, but it's the most un-Tarantino movie, like, in a way, like, really, like, and that's what I really like about it. I do really love that film, but it always switches. I would say, like, Inglorious Basterds might come in at number 2. And then there's also Pulp Fiction. Like, between those 3, like, Pulp Fiction, like, is still my introduction to Tarantino. So maybe it was Reservoir Dogs, but I got those ones are kind of, on any given day, I might change my opinion on this, but that is usually in my top 3 is those films. And then I got to say, coming up the rear after 3, I would say, you know what? I'm really starting
the rear.
I'm really starting to love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Honestly, like, I would probably, I do
never watched it all the way through.
I do like it quite a bit. And then I would probably say, here's the thing. Reservoir Dogs, upon more rewatches, I don't think is as impressive, but at the time it was impressive. Like, so I'd probably put that at 5th or 6th, Django, and that around there. These aren't definitive, so, like, I'm going to say around there. 5 or 6 is probably Django and that. Then I would actually put Kill Bill. and then I would put Death Proof last. I don't. Oh, and then Hateful Eight. I would say Hateful Eight, and then Death Proof. And
Wow.
and then if you were counting the other film that he somewhat was involved in,
Grindhouse.
no, not that one.
Modern Stone.
True Romance.
True Romance, yeah.
If you want to count that, but he didn't direct it, but he wrote it, and they used that script for that film, I would put that somewhere in the middle as well. I do like that film, but it's not directed by him. So some people count it as part of his filmography. Some people don't because he didn't direct it. So it doesn't really count in that sense. He didn't direct it, but he wrote the script, and then they kind of got another director attached to it. Around the same time as Reservoir Dogs, I think it was that Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction that he had already handed in for his next project of scripts that he had coming from the video store or whatever, from what I know. So so that's probably what I would say, and for a loose ranking there of my top 9, I guess. See, Leslie
moved from top 3 to top 9.
That's the thing. Well, no, I said top 3. I gave you my top 3, then I kind of ranked all the other films.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
I do love Jackie Brown.
Really? I gotta watch that again, man.
I haven't watched enough.
This Kill Bill series. No, I don't know. I like those movies. I like them. I mean, here's the thing. I like I like his films. So like I can make an argument about any of these things any day, but there's not one. I think the one I really, really still don't really love all that much is Death Proof, though. I don't know, something about that movie. Like I get what he was trying to do with like the drive-in movie type film thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like
it seems like a parody less than.
Right. What's that, Jay?
Is that the guy with the ugly face there? What's the name?
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell.
No, the actor. Yeah, but the other guy. What's his name? Fuck, man.
The other guy.
I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Mine.
Only one person in it.
Jackie Brown, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Once Upon a Time, Kill Bill. Okay. His favorite performance of DiCaprio. Arv, for the record, you want to mention any of your top whatever of his films that you've seen? Any ones you want to rank?
Yeah, like yours, top 3 are definitive. Inglorious Basterds, Pulp Fiction, and Kill Bill 1 and 2. Okay. I'm counting them as 1. The rest are also like pretty loose. So I haven't seen Jackie Brown, but based on what you guys are telling me, like I feel like I need to check it out.
You should watch it. You should watch it.
Because that was his next movie, right? After Pulp Fiction?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, then that, and then I believe it was Kill Bill after that, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, Kill Bill, because then it was Death Proof, then it was this, then it was Django, right?
Yeah, Hateful Eight.
Then it was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, so that's... Yeah, it's
so I put Django at the end there.
Yeah, Django's... Oh, I don't know if I put it right at the end, but he actually...
No, sorry, not at the end of... at the end of my top 3. Wait, no, you know what? Hold on. I would put Reservoir Dogs and then Django. And then I feel like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is another one I need to rewatch. It did kind of... It was... My expectations were higher than what the movie delivered, I think.
A lot of people, you're not alone. A lot of people don't like that movie and people I know that are Tarantino fans don't like that movie to the point where they won't rewatch it. And like you said, sometimes you shouldn't really grant it the rewatch if you didn't like it the first time. But I honestly feel that if you rewatch that movie, knowing what it is going into it, you'll have a lot of a better time with the film. I agree. I don't think you should not revisit a movie. I just think that a lot of what you need to see should be in the first viewing. Like that's something Christopher Nolan does, which pisses me off. Like I wish this guy would just don't beat around the bush about everything, man. Like I like his movies, but holy shit, Tenet was a fucking mindfuck. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't think he even knew what he was doing. So that is one movie I have not rewatched since it because I was so disappointed while watching that in the theater. Where I'm like, you literally made me wait. And I know it's Nolan, and at the end, sometimes it's like some oh shit fucking moment from him. But the fact that he made me wait 3/4 through that film to be like, oh, wow, okay, what he's doing here is kind of genius and impressive. But I'm like, it was not a good movie. The experience of watching it. Unless you know what he's doing, you're just like it's all over the fucking place. I'm like, is this an action movie? Is it not? I don't really know what's going on, right? Like I really was disappointed, and I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan. That movie, when I watched it in theaters, I haven't even rewatched it because I'm like, I was just pissed because he made me wait so long to get like what he was doing in the film, and not in a good way, where I'm like, I wasted 3/4 of this film trying to figure out what was going on, and just didn't make for a good viewing experience, right?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. It's disappointing. You know what? One of his great ones though, I wouldn't mind doing on here is the Prestige. I love the.
That movie's.
The Prestige is one of those movies. Every time you rewatch it, it does get better to me because the intricacy of the story being told in that film is quite impressive, and not to a point where it's not enjoyable. That's the difference. Tenet, I was just like, this isn't enjoyable. The story.
It doesn't add much. Yeah, it's just okay, whatever. But Prestige, when you rewatch it, it's actually fun.
And this
Memento was great.
Absolutely, but that one actually, upon more rewatches, I actually think less of it now. Once you know the trick in that one. Yeah, I loved it the first time out, the first couple times, but now I'm just like, it's again, we're not going to rank Nolan's film, guys, another time, but I would say it's somewhere in the middle of my rankings for his Memento now, personally.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a great film. So,
I haven't seen it in like 15 years, but yeah.
Right. So that would be your ranking, eh? Kill Bill is number 3, Inglorious Basterds, and then what was 2? Pulp Fiction.
Inglorious Basterds, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, and then what was my next one? I forget. Django Unchained, and then the others. Jackie Brown, I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is probably at the bottom though for me. Currently.
Yeah, fair. You know what? I don't think we have done one yet. I don't think we have. Which I'm surprised about. Well, I'll tell you.
We've talked about stuff.
Yeah, next time I have a pick, I'm probably gonna want to do the Prestige, whenever that is. Like next time we don't have a guest on, it's my pick. I'll probably pick the Prestige because I think that's one of the. I think it's one of the ones I think that's lesser known by him too. And I don't know if he directed it. Did he direct it and write it? There might be something he wasn't involved in on that one. Maybe that's why.
I'm not sure if he wrote it. I know he directed it.
Maybe that's what it was. What's that, Jay?
Do I have to read it?
No, you don't have to. No,
you can read into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I expect. I don't expect fucking reading the movie. That's all. So I guess I'm gonna be bugging you guys about that one.
Go over a couple of the comments here, and then we'll wrap up. Do you guys have anything else to say about the film? No, feel free. Anything else you guys want to mention? We're 3 hours in. This is a good show, guys.
Yeah,
not enough nudity.
Yeah, I'd agree with Jay on that. Not enough nudity.
Way better Upon a Time in Hollywood than in Inglorious Basterds. Absolutely, I agree with this too. I just think he's a fun character in Inglorious Basterds.
I can't remember. I need to watch it again now. I feel like I missed a lot the first time.
There's your homework. Or rewatch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and watch Jackie Brown for the first time if you've never seen it. Because I think
I'll watch Jackie Brown.
Yeah, it's very good.
That's the one with Pam Grier, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a weird. I will. It's a very weird role for what's his name? What the fuck is his name? Why am I blanking on
Sam Jackson?
No, he's in it. He's great in it. No,
what movie?
Fucking Jackie Brown. What the fuck is his name? Oh my god, I forgot his name. The guy from Goodfellas and fucking.
Oh, De Niro, Joe Pesci.
Yes. Very weird De Niro role. Very strange De Niro. I don't know. De Niro's very odd in this film. I will say that.
Really? Okay.
Hey, listen. I'm with you. Make Arv a regular. He's a great. He's a great guest on the show. Arv knows it's an open door policy with our. Anytime you want to absolutely come back and join us.
Appreciate it.
We always have a good time doing this with you. Yeah, no, he's good. Great opinionated guy. He's a fun guy to do the show with. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Nobody can decide what movies were the best. You ask different people and get different answers. Here's a sign of great artists. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
True.
Yeah. Rewatch Dunkirk. That's another movie that's great. The second, again, I think that's if you want to talk about cinematography and all that shit, and like it's an impressive film, but I just think it's boring. It's I don't know. It's impressive. Like and you know how Nolan always fucks with time in his films. That one just didn't. It was 3 separate stories being told, and I don't know. It was good. It wasn't bad, but it's not my favorite of his.
I feel like it was a good technical movie, but I don't know about story kind of like underwhelming. But I need to watch that again too.
Yeah, I own it, but yeah, the only one I don't think I have of Nolan's now is Tenet, and that's one I guess I have to rewatch. But I'm just a little pissed. I'm a little pissed about that one. We'll end on this. I got a question for you. What do you think of the trailer for the new Batman film? Speaking of somebody who was starring in Tenet,
Fucking love it, man. I love it.
Really?
I cannot wait for that movie. I Robert Pattinson is one of the most. I don't even want to say underrated, but he's the perfect choice for Batman. The fact they didn't cast him sooner is beyond me. You know why? Like everyone associates him with what's that fucking vampire movie? Twilight. Yeah. And he gets a bad rap from that. But if you ever see any of his indie stuff, if you ever see Good Time, if I'm blanking on all his fucking all the indie movies I've seen of his in the last like 8 years.
He was good in Tenet too. He was
great
good
in Tenet. Yeah.
Yes, he was good in Tenet. Yeah, he was.
And they should have even made him a main character, man. Like he's that good. But like think about Harry Potter, like Cedric Diggory. He plays Cedric Diggory in such a small role. He lifts a lot of the thing on his shoulders, a lot of the story.
Speaking of Harry Potter, is that guy really playing Weird Al Yankovic?
I heard that. Yeah, I did hear that.
What?
Yeah, I did hear that. That's an
supposed to play in a biopic. No, but yes. I wondered if that was true. If that was true from a blog or whatever. Because I don't know, man. I haven't looked it up.
I don't know if that's true, but I did hear that. Yeah,
but it was on the blog in the chat group too.
So I'm with you, Arv. I'm not against the casting of Robert Pattinson as Batman, but I got to be honest. The trailer, I don't know. At least the one I watched, and I don't know if there's more than one out there right now, but the one I watched. It left me a little underwhelmed. I don't think they're probably purposely holding back a lot of good stuff that they didn't put in the trailer. Like it definitely looks dark, which is cool. And I love the casting for Catwoman that they have in this. And I love that the Riddler's part of it as a villain. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. But I can't say that the trailer did a lot for me personally.
The only thing I'm concerned about is that there's a lot of villains. I feel like they're going to fuck that up. When you put too much shit in the stew, it makes a mess. Like it's hard to balance all that, right? But what I like about the trailer is, as you said, it's dark. It's like very, it seems very comic accurate for the most part, other than some design choices. But I like that from the trailer, you can tell that the cinematography, bro. It's oh my god, it's heaven. It's like it's actually it looks better than the Nolan movies. If I'm talking from a cinematography perspective, I like the look of this better than the look of the Nolan movies. They made Gotham City a character, which it's supposed to be. Like Gotham City is a big part of Batman, and you know the lore of Batman.
Right.
Like I'm talking about the architecture, the people, all that stuff. Just like how New York is a big part of Spider-Man.
What's
the
that,
television
Jay?
series. I think that's why I like the television series because they got more in depth to about the city. No, I just I know Nico. This is the only thing too is like the only thing that's gonna. Because the trailer pisses Nico out. He's upset so far with the trailer. The only thing that pisses Nico off worse than not seeing. Hold on. The only thing that gets you upset worse than a bad Batman movie, a bad Spider-Man movie is a bad Batman movie. Don't fuck around. You make a bad Batman movie, Nico's gonna be fucking going up. I'm not joking.
I thought it was amazing. Man. It was like the best fucking thing ever. So the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
Nico wet his pants.
I really did. Like watching that movie, it was like no, really, like it was a fan's dream of Spider-Man, like a lifelong fan of Spider-Man. That was everything and anything I could have asked for in a film. And I also love Doctor Strange. So the fact that he was in that too, oh man, I loved that fucking movie. It was great. It's. And now I hear that I don't want to throw spoilers out there for anybody hasn't seen it because there's a lot of crazy.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
They've made recent announcements based on some of the people that were in that film, maybe doing other films. So that's all I'm gonna say on that, which I was like, that's interesting. All right, well. That being said, guys, I think we're going to wrap up here, though. Great chat interaction here today. I want to thank once again our guest here, Arv, once again for coming on the show. Anytime, Arv, honestly, join us again at some point. We'd love to have you on anytime.
Absolutely, man. I love these episodes. I watch all of them, even when I'm not on them.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's always a fun time. Great discussion. Make sure, guys, to listen to Arv on the Brews with the Crew podcast. Make sure you check him out there on all streaming platforms. I think for podcasts, it's available on. You guys have a website. I'll put the link for that in the description when this video gets reposted, guys. If you did miss earlier in the episode, definitely make sure to check back. It will be posted here on our playlist, as always, on our YouTube channel. Yeah, no, look, Leslie, they always love watching you on our. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's great job as always. And check out Arv's YouTube channel, Arvficionado, if you want to hear his other thoughts on movies that he's seen. I know it's been a while, I guess, since you did a movie on this.
Yeah, it's been a while since I posted. I'm actually like right now I'm sitting in my sunroom because I'm actually moving soon. I'm moving to Oshawa.
That's right.
I'm moving to a house, so I'm gonna get a new setup, a new like nice recording room and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of like pausing all the other stuff until I get that new setup, and then you'll see more content hopefully very soon.
Thanks for making the time, man, for us. Then yeah, absolutely, yeah,
of course.
And yeah, no, we look forward to that. Definitely look forward to that. And like I said, the newest episode of Brews with the Crew, these guys, him, Josh, and Naz. They talk about all of their the things that they're looking forward to in 2022. So like, I'm sure you guys talk about the Batman trailer and everything on there, right? Like I would guess, right? Yeah, there you go. So if you guys want to hear their thoughts on movies coming out in the new year, definitely listen to their podcast. Watch out.
Oh God, I forgot he was on this stream.
What did you do?
No,
I totally forgot he was here.
Fuck, bro. This
I didn't, man. I didn't. I'm homeless. I'm gonna be moving to a homeless shelter in Oshawa.
He's always creeping. You gotta watch out for this fucking guy. He's always creeping.
He's a creeper.
I know you're trying to like get away without him knowing, but now he's gonna find out where you are.
That was my mistake. I can't believe I forgot.
Coming for you, Arv. He's coming for you, bro.
My house, man. I'm gonna hire a moving company, and Farn's gonna be the one lifting the couches. Like, bro, did you get a job here for a day? Like, what? Fucking guy.
You gotta get into it once you get settled in and stuff. You gotta get into some gaming too with us, man. Try some fucking.
Yeah, man.
I want to play.
That's my fault. I haven't been playing a lot, and every time I tell Arv, I'm gonna fucking tell him. Like the one time I get on once in a while gaming, I forget to fucking tell Arv. He has to show us the ropes in Dead by Daylight. Honestly, he's.
Oh yeah, love that game.
Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah.
But I know you got a lot on the go as always too. So yeah, we'll definitely hook up on some gaming soon. So.
For sure,
all right, guys. Yeah. Oh, and as always, we tell you what our next movie is, guys, at the end of the episode. So there's a few of you guys still here. So it's actually still up in the air. It looks like it's going to be, I think he's trying to confirm between two films, but it looks like it's going to be Saving Private Ryan, which Arv actually mentioned earlier.
Nice.
Which I haven't seen in forever. And our guest on
the one with Tom Hanks?
Yes.
Okay, I'll watch that one. I like Tom Hanks.
Brad Pitt's in it.
Worst performance, Tom Hanks. Be ready for that.
Exactly. First directing, Steven Spielberg.
That's it, man. What age the worst?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And
Forrest Gump. No.
Peter, our good friend Peter, has been on the show and many of our shows here on the Late Night Chat Network, is going to be our guest on that one. And of course, he's all about historical accuracy in his war films. So he had to bust out Saving Private Ryan for us because when he heard we were doing this movie tonight, and I quote, "Finally, you guys picked a good movie," because he talks his shit about every single fucking movie that we pick on this show. He always likes to talk, Peace picks. I always watch the best movies. So we'll see, guys, because he's gonna have to put his money where his mouth is. He says he's probably leaning towards Saving Private Ryan. So it's gonna be a war-related movie, anyways. I can for sure tell you that. So we got a theme going here. So that'll be next month in February, guys. For our next late night at the movies. Make sure to tune in for that. As always, make sure you're subscribed, and thank you for tuning in, guys.
Ryan's private.
Saving Ryan's private.
Arv, thank you again. Arv, thank you for
joining. Man. Pleasure.
Right. Thank you, bro.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks,
all right.
everybody.
Have a good night, guys.
Later.
Take care.